Could you put, and so please go on record.
Chairman and honorable members, my name is CPA Charles Tunga. I represent the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I don't think he can revoke unilaterally membership, but if an accountant fails the test here, they should know that the professional body is present. The control of budget?
Chair, we have apologies from the control of budget.
Fine, we may proceed to the next stakeholder, the County Assembly of Kericho. Did we alert and invite them about today's meeting?
Yes, we did, but we don't have a word from them.
We shall then proceed to the executive, Governor Kericho.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Dr. Eric Mutai, Governor Kericho County.
We'll allow members of your delegation to go on record.
Chair, I'm Jackson Rob, the CC in charge of Finance and Economic Planning and Head of County Treasury, Kericho County.
Good afternoon. I'm CP Fernandez Korir, the Deputy Director, Accounting Services.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Jafet Rotich from the Executive of the Governor.
Good afternoon, Chair, and my name is Gillian Soy, Director, Procurement.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Jonathan Korir, CEC in charge of Public Service Management, Kericho.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Joseph Korir, in charge of Lands, Housing and Physical Planning. Thank you.
I'm Nancy Laboso, accountant.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is CPA Gilbert Turgut, Director, Internal Audit.
Betsy Chebet, Chief Officer, Agriculture and Fisheries.
Good afternoon, Chair and honorable members. My name is CPA Joseph Mudhamandiku, the Chairman of the Audit Committee. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, my name is Sang, Economic Advisor, Office of the Governor.
Afternoon, Chair, Richard Tanoi, County Secretary and Head of Public Service.
Good afternoon, Chair. Name is John Cheriot, CCM for Agriculture, Livestock and Cooperatives.
Good afternoon, Chair. I'm Bernard Koros, Head of Revenue Reporting.
Every member of the governor's delegation, I hope, has gone on record. We welcome the media and our partners who are connecting us to the wider audience that is following this conversation. We proceed to administration of oath and tabling of documents.
I, Dr. Eric Kipkoech Mutai, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall keep before this committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Next, you may table your responses.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, sir, I hereby table the following documents before the committee: management responses and accompanying annexures for the report of the County Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on audited financial statements for the County Executive of Kericho for the financial year 2023-2024, and management responses and accompanying annexures on the report of the Auditor General on the receiver of revenue for the County Executive for the financial year 2023-2024.
Okay. Auditor General, can you confirm that the documents were presented to you in good time?
Thank you, Chair. The documents were presented on 14th November 2025, which was adequate for us to review the responses.
Clerk of the Senate.
Chair, we confirm that they received the documents in good time.
Okay, so that's an improvement, because the last time we had a meeting like this, the meeting aborted because the documents had not been presented to the auditors and to the Senate in good time. I think that's progressive. So now that we have undertaken the oath, we need to go straight to the main agenda. We have just about an hour to do this business. Unless there is any observation, preliminary observation, I think the only matter which the Governor, you must respond to is that your invitation was compelled by way of summons. governors have pleaded with the Senate not to use summons, but to use invitations. And we have previously used invitations. By the time we issue summons, it indicates that we feel that you are hesitant to come to account for the money that has been sent to you through the Senate. So we need to understand the circumstances that led to your non-appearance, which triggered the issuance of summons. Because the Act says that if a person summoned does not appear, at least you have appeared, or fails to satisfy the committee. Now let's deal with that next limb. Before we get into the substantive business, could you put it on record, the reasons for your non-appearance last time?
Thank you, Chair. My apologies, and I want to be on record that this is one committee I respect very much, and at no time have we ever gone to this level. One is that we had a letter from the Senate Committee on ICT indicating that they were visiting Nakuru and Kericho counties and Bomet on the 21st. We wrote a letter to the committee that we are also supposed to attend the Public Accounts Committee on that same 21st, and we requested them to postpone. Up to Thursday evening, we have not received any reply from the Committee of ICT. And our thoughts then was that because they're not indicated whether they're coming or not, could be a note that they're proceeding to come. And Honorable Chair, as it is, we were forced to write to this committee on Thursday at around 4 p.m. because we have not received any communication from the ICT committee that they are not coming. And as this shares our apologies because it ended up that they never came on that 21st. And then, Chair, in the process again, we received a letter from this same honorable committee of yours, Chair, indicating that you have accepted our request and you have given us a Thursday of, I think, a 27th to appear. So while, Honorable Chair, we were planning to appear on a fortnight, we received again a letter that you have summoned us to this committee. And so we thought that the summon is heavy. Then we chose to come and attend the summons. But Chair, we have been always ready and longing to come and account for the results of Kericho. And that is why our documents were able to reach this committee in good time, even after the first invitation. And so our apologies, Honorable Chair.
Okay, for the record, the clerk has just clarified that we wrote to you advising you to ignore that earlier letter you're talking about, to appear on 27th, and to take into account the summons. So that letter you're referring to was withdrawn because the Senate, the committee, made a resolution to compel your appearance. But honorable members, when we issue summons, it's because we want the person to be here. He is here. So now we need to deal with him.
Chair,
now that he's here. Senator
Chair, luckily I serve in ICT committee. The governor should be honest, not have honest, because what he wrote to us in ICT, he was requesting us to reschedule because he was appearing before this committee. So where does he stand?
I think I'm clear, Chair.
The letter is here. You wrote.
Chair, so that we don't go back and forth. I indicated that I wrote to the Committee of ICT to adjust or reschedule because we were meant to appear before you. As of Thursday, the Committee of ICT has not responded to us as to whether they have declined or accepted our request for them to reschedule. And that is why we were faced with a dilemma situation as to whether we appear on a Friday, then another distinct Senate committee, when you're here, we are told that they're in our boardroom, and it's also going to be a respect again to a Senate committee. And that is why we were forced to request a bit late, but our apologies, Chair.
You know, Chair, the governor did not even listen to what I was saying.
Senator Chirake?
Because I'm saying I'm a member of ICT.
Yeah.
We receive a letter and all our communications are through the clerk of the Senate. And we thought since the governor was appearing before this committee, we would not proceed with our meeting because he had already indicated that he was to come here for Public Accounts Committee. And that was the communication that we had. Even I shared in our...
Was the communication to ICT committee formal? And
yeah, it was formal.
And
I even
received by the
posted
clerk?
that letter in the park. It was received. It is in the Public Accounts Committee WhatsApp.
So we must therefore, because that then will bring in an element of perjury. The governor is under oath, and if he was going to give an account that is not consistent with the truth, I think that is a very serious offense.
I'm not clear about is did the committee of ICT respond and adjourn the meeting?
Governor?
Honorable Chair, to date we have not received any communication from ICT.
Okay. Senior counsel, I thought you wanted to address the legal matter of perjury.
I think the argument is advancing is that he wrote to ICT, if I got him right, and he was waiting for ICT to reply and confirm that they will not be going to Kericho. They allow him to come to this committee. I think that's what I heard you say. Since he didn't get the response, he thought the committee was visiting. Therefore, he opted to write to us to seek an adjournment. I think that's what...
No, Senator Cherage has introduced another dimension, which...
you are going to different...
He has introduced another dimension.
I got Senator Cherage very well. Senator Cherage says...
He wrote to us
to you,
that he's appearing to park.
Yes.
And that
we are saying the same
schedule.
thing. I think we are saying the same thing, Chair.
And we could not write direct to governor. It is through the Senate clerk and it was received.
Okay. Senator Dulo?
Well, Chair, listening to the governor and Senator Cherargei, it looks like the governor was cheating, if I may use that word. I don't know whether it's parliamentary. Or lying.
Lying is better.
To the committee of ICT, creating an excuse that he was appearing before ICT and appearing before Public Accounts Committee, and he opted to miss both committees, which makes him liable for lying to the Senate committee. So I think there is no excuse here.
Can I then
Chair, on an exception, Chair, before we... Chair, we need to be clear on some things. I think that the way government responds to it...
Governor, it will make your life easier if you listen to us. Senator Gatari.
You know, the dilemma, if I'm getting the governor right, is when he didn't get the reply from the ICT committee. You know, the committee on ICT, the governor expected them to reply that now that you are going to attend Park, then you were not coming. So he kept on waiting for both the ICT, and then he got confused up. I think that is what the governor is trying to do.
Okay, so let's do this because we compel the governor to appear, not to have this conversation, but to look at the money that has been sent to Kericho. But as to that doubt that is cropping up, as to whether the governor is saying the truth under oath, I want the clerks, particularly our legal officer and the legal officer in the ICT committee, look at that correspondence that Senator Cherargei is referring to. Because if it is genuine, then it introduces a very, very material evidence that can point towards perjury. People have been used to taking the oath, lifting the Bible, and saying their own things. If you are to find that someone committed perjury in this instance, I think it would be very, very important for us to push for prosecution. I think we all take judicial notice that even in the impeachment proceedings of Kericho, there could have been certain concerns around whether people were saying the truth and nothing but the truth under oath. But we are not going to go there. That's a matter that the Senate has already discharged. In the present instance, we'll just need to be satisfied that you have given us an explanation that is truthful. We shall look at those correspondences, and if there's any doubt that crops up, then Governor will have to call you again. Honorable members, could we then now look at the numbers with that rider? Yeah, so clerks, when we are doing our report on Kericho, we must also get a brief on the veracity of submissions that were made by the governor.
Can I table the letter? I've already tabled to the.
That's why I've directed the clerk of this committee and that of ICT,
Yes.
because I saw the one that you shared. It doesn't have a date. It doesn't have a timestamp.
No,
So-
it has a date. It is on 19 November 2025. It has 19 November 2025.
Or it has the relevant stamps of the clerk of the Senate.
Yeah. Maybe the clerks
Okay,
can.
so just share.
Yes.
Then the clerks, the technical people can review, and if Governor Mutai becomes the first casualty to be prosecuted under the perjury law, then that would be a precedent, because I don't think anyone has been prosecuted or convicted for perjury. And yet in the UK, a prime minister was forced to resign because of perjury. Was that Boris? That was Boris. So it is a serious offense. But let's leave it at that. Let's go to the books of accounts.
Chair, as we leave it just on a record, Chair, the standard procedure of responses is formal letters written as correspondence. And so I leave it at that point that we didn't receive a formal response from the Committee of ICT declining or accepting. I received from you 2 letters and another one resigning the other one and summoning me to be here. And I've appeared here in full.
That's good enough. Leave the rest to us. Auditor General, the report on County Executive of Kericho for the year ended 30th June 2024. The governor already appeared before this committee. I think he appeared in that duration. It could have been February or March this year. We made recommendations that were adopted by the House. Today, our job is to follow up on whether he has implemented what was recommended by the Senate. Now that you have reported to us that you have gone through this report, how many of our recommendations have been implemented by the governor, starting with the main executive report?
Thank you, Chair. The county government of Kericho has implemented only one recommendation, and one recommendation is partially implemented. Thank you.
Only one out of a totality of... Do you have a count of the issues that they were supposed to address?
Okay. Chair, there are 23 issues as per the report of the Auditor General.
And only one was resolved?
Yeah, and one was partially resolved.
1 out of 23. Governor Mutai used to be a teacher. What grade would you give a child who gets 1 out of 23? That is a fail.
Chair, I request I don't comment on that.
Because you don't want to describe yourself as an E student from the foregoing.
Chair, all the way from nursery to where I am, I've been a first-class student, and I want to not comment on this one.
Then you have met your Waterloo, which is the governorship of Kericho. So what is that one issue that has been resolved?
Thank you, Chair. The only issue resolved was on appointment of the audit committee. That is on report on effectiveness of internal controls and governance. That is paragraph. That's report on the effectiveness of internal control, risk management, and governance. Now, that is issue number 4. Yeah, and appointment. And the partial one is about internal audit, at issue number 3, where there was the issue of staffing, which still has not been resolved.
So in your view, those are the only issues that can be marked as addressed. Everything else, our recommendations have not been implemented.
Yes, Chair.
Now, members, because this is a follow-up on implementation, if at this point the governor has not implemented, then there are matters that we should just forward to the relevant agencies. For example, if there is unsupported expenditure, and to date that expenditure has not been supported, members, what kind of solution do we have? What can we prescribe beside asking the EACC to deal with the matters?
Chair.
If there are procurement irregularities, and we made recommendations, and those recommendations have not been implemented, what more can the Senate do beside asking investigative agencies to take up the matters? Senator Chirarke, is there any other mitishamba we can apply?
No. Chair, even dawa ya kienyeji. Chair, as a student now, when I was in class of law of evidence, when there is no documentation, it is as good as if there is no documentation. And therefore, Chair, if the supporting documents like travel allowances, among others, insurance, there is no supporting documents, Chair, I think in my own submissions, and we have argued at the Public Audit Act, and Governor is here, the OAG are here. By the time an audit comes out, it has gone a rigorous progress, Chair. There is entry meeting, exit meeting, management meeting, the draft letter, the draft report. There is also management meeting where all these issues has been risen. Even the governor appeared at some instances before this committee. We gave timelines for submission of further documentation, but it has not been availed. So when there is no documentation to fix or to explain, Chair, I recommend that the EACC should move with speed. Because even if cooking was to happen, it did not happen. So I recommend that the EACC should move with the speed, investigate, because when there is no documentation, it is as good as guilty, Chair. Because that's how you alleviate. And Chair, looking at Article 229 of the Constitution, when Parliament considers a report, we give the second bite to the cherry to the governor or any entity appearing before us to try and tell us, since the insurance documentation was not there, it was there but it had been misplaced, then the matter would have been put under consideration before report writing. So, Chair, as I yield the mic back, I think we don't need to belabor, waste a lot of time. Let those matters be referred to EACC and other relevant investigative agencies to deal with the matter, and of course the consequences will follow suit. I yield back.
Can we pick one example so that it can demonstrate what we are struggling with? An example of unsupported expenditure, so that this can also be a learning exercise for the team that has come with the governor, because we don't want people to think that we are witch hunting by referring matters to EACC, but we'll refer them to EACC on the basis of the responses that have been given to us here. So, honorable members, unsupported domestic travel.
Item 2. Yes, number 2.
Number 2, or this other one?
Use this.
Actually, perhaps an easier one is insurance. Yeah.
No, even this one is easier, Chair.
The one for foreign travel.
Yeah, the one for foreign travel
and subsistence.
And subsistence.
Yeah,
is fairly straightforward, Chair, because this is something that is alleged to have happened. And a very simple thing. How you earn subsistence allowance is you're traveling for official duty. And that figure is quite astounding. 775,425,914. The amount includes foreign travels and subsistence totaling 15,598,000 as disclosed in Note 4 to the financial statement. These even include components, payment amounting to 5.7 million paid to individuals for foreign travel, which were not supported by boarding passes or copies of passports and back to office reports. I mean, this is such a simple and straightforward matter. I don't know why the county will struggle to provide such. And Chairperson, given that you have provided sufficient time to county to provide and they haven't, because the report fingers actually individuals. There are people who are said to have received the money, but there is no evidence that they ever left their station of duty. That's where you need to start. Follow the trail.
Thank you, Leader. I think this is a very good example where we had made recommendations for administrative action and recommendations for investigations. So it could be a very good case study of how to deal with the other issues. Senator Omoge.
Yeah, Chair. The other offense may be on some officers, but there was a specific recommendation that the governor takes administrative action against the officers that were involved. Has he taken any action against those officers? And how long does it take for him to take action? If 775 million is unaccounted for, he was here in March, we asked him to take administrative action. Why hasn't he taken that action?
Very good. So we are going to put that to the governor. Vice Chair, you wanted to raise something on that?
No, I think the governor can respond first, then we see how it
So for avoidance of doubt, maybe the auditor will read the finding so that it is someone does not think that the senator from Kericho is the one who came up with it. So read your finding, the clerk will read our recommendation, and then the governor will tell us what he has done to implement that recommendation. Because the way we deal with this will affect how we deal with others. And I've seen the manner in which he has responded to this is similar to the rest of the issues. It lacks the substance that accounts for the money. It has a story that corrects in future, but not one that ensures that that money is accounted for. So let's do this properly. Auditor, you read what you found. Clerk of the Senate, you read what we recommended. Governor, you respond. And then we shall see whether your response is satisfactory.
Thank you, Chair. Unsupported foreign travel and subsistence. The statement of receipts and payments reflects use of goods and services amounting to 775,425,914. The amount includes foreign travel and subsistence totaling 15,598,720 as disclosed in Note 4 to the financial statements. This component includes payments amounting to 5,706,604 paid to individuals for foreign travel which were not supported by boarding passes or copies of passports and back to office reports. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of the expenditure of 5.7 million could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Clerk, what did the House recommend?
The committee recommended
from the observation.
The committee observed that the county executive did not provide the documents to the Auditor General during the audit process. The committee further observed that the county executive did not provide evidence to support foreign travel and subsistence payment voucher amount to 687,860.
Recommendation?
The committee recommends that the county governor undertakes administrative action against officers who failed to provide documents to the Auditor General during the audit process in accordance with Section 156 of the Public Finance Management Act and provide a status report to the Auditor General within 60 days of the adoption of this report. The second recommendation is that the Director of Criminal Investigations
investigates the unsupported expenditure of 687,860 on foreign travel, and where criminality is established, refer the matter to the Director of Public Prosecutions for prosecution. The committee further recommends that the Auditor General audits the unsupported expenditure of 687,860 on foreign travel in the subsequent audit cycle.
Governor, what action did you take?
Honorable Chair, just maybe, sorry I'm taking you back because I've been listening keenly. In the last appearance that you came here even as a response chair, it was indicated that 7 issues were resolved and 7 issues were partially resolved, making 14 when we appeared here. Today, the narrative is shifting, Chair, that only 1 issue was resolved. But since I don't want to go there, Chair, let me just respond to...
Yeah, please just come to this...
let me just go because...
Just go to this.
Let me just go to this because it's getting a bit confusing every minute. Now, the county government, Honorable Chairman, the county government acknowledges the committee's observations and recommendations regarding the unsupported foreign travel and subsistence expenditure amounted to Kenya shillings 5,786,604 and appreciates the committee's continued guidance in strengthening accountability and governance in public financial management. The county executive notes that during the audit period, certain supporting documents, specifically boarding passes, passport copies, and packed office reports were not fully availed to the Office of the Auditor General due to delays in document retrieval from the respective departments. However, management has since taken corrective measures to ensure that all travel-related documentations is properly maintained and verified prior to payment and audit review. To address the committee's concerns and implement lasting corrective action, the following measures have been put in place. Number 1, implementation of the standard operating procedure SOPs on foreign travel and subsistence. The county government has developed and implemented comprehensive standard operating procedure SOPs governing authorization, documentations, and accounting for both local and foreign travel. The SOPs stipulate that no travel-related payment or surrender will be processed without complete supporting documents, including travel approvals, invitation letters, air tickets, boarding passes, and back-to-office reports.
Governor, sorry, just to allow us to move fast, we could say we adopt your response, and unless you want to read to the end. It's
not Chair, under your guidance, Chair.
So we could adopt your response.
Yes, Chair.
And then now just put it directly to you.
Yes, Chair.
This 687,000 that was cited, what have you done about it to ensure that there is accountability for it? Because it appears from our recommendation that of the 5.7 million, there was accountability save for 687,000. Where is that money? Where is it in your response here?
Chair, I follow your line of thought, and we didn't respond very well. My understanding at that time of what the Senate has recommended was administrative action as we move to the future.
But so you agree with us that this matter is a matter that should be investigated and prosecuted?
Maybe, Chair,
600,000.
Because
if you agree, then we just concur and change this from DCI to ESCC, and we move to the next matter.
No, Chair, we have all the documentations that were supposed to be given out, and there's just delays from the departments, and we gave the response thinking that what the committee required from us was administrative action for the future.
No, Chair. Governor, you accounted for the 5.7 from this report.
Yes, Chairman.
But there was 687,000 that was remaining. So the figure is no longer 700 million. It is no longer 5.7 million. It is 600,000.
Yeah, the revenue officers have already submitted the documents for the same, Chair. And
where is that in this response that you brought to us today?
Maybe it was an oversight of the team which was preparing this.
Maybe Chair. My colleagues have seen it, Vice Chair.
Yeah, Chair. My reading of this query and the observation of the committee is that during the time of audit, the documents were not provided. But later on, after the audit, these documents must have been provided, and that's why, as a committee, we made a finding that the infraction is late provision of documents. And that's why we recommended that there should be administrative action against the officers who did not provide documents in time. If that is the thing, Chair, then we must also say, is capacity building and, implementing a standard operating procedure adequate administrative action to make sure that this doesn't repeat itself. Yes, that's what I would be looking at. But I think during the time of audit, the documents were not there. But later on, when they were requested by the auditors, they came. That is when we wrote.
Not fully. It was 687,000 less.
During the time of audit?
No, subsequent.
Subsequent.
When they were brought before us. So there are two elements: administrative action to prevent recurrence, but also the 687,000. And if you agree with us that you could not explain it, then let's just leave it to EACC.
Honorable Chair, let me ask
they have the means of recovering that.
Let me ask the accountant to the director accounts to respond to that, Chair.
Chair, can I?
Senator Chirake first.
Chair, in the response of the governor, he agrees with the findings. And in fact, in paragraph 2, talking about certain supporting documents, and he agrees that there was a delay. But instead of saying provision has been made for these documents, he goes ahead and says there are corrective measures. I thought in accounts, you answer with accounting, not the literature. So, Chair, the question should be, where are these, apart from, when we travel, even us, even when you travel, Chair, you come and surrender, then you are paid. I thought that is the SOP that is with government in everywhere. So the question is, the governor should tell us where are these passports, boarding passes, these are things you can print. Chair, we should not even be discussing. You can just go, if you use Emirates, if you use KQ, you just go to their website, print out the passport, unless these people do not travel.
Failure to which it is recovered from them.
Correct, and plus interest.
Those are the administrative measures that we are looking for. That there were no boarding passes for 600,000, but you have started a recovery. I mean, it's as easy as that.
And then number 2, on administrative action, it does not mean necessarily you fire somebody. Even if the governor had given us a warning letters to these officers who were supposed to provide documentation as per public audit act, would have been sufficient.
Or a circular, or a memo.
Or a memo, or naming out, or calling out those officers who should have done their work.
So, Governor, you understand?
As an explanation of that effect.
Okay, where's the accountant?
Fernandez here.
Yeah, please be precise on the 687,000, as well as administrative action.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. When we received the audit report, we prepared the responses, the written responses as directed by this committee. And the committee made recommendations, and the 687,000 which remained. When we were we were required to appear before this committee, that was in June. We submitted another set of documents to the Office of the Auditor General, and subject to confirmation, this 687,860 was fully supported. And Honorable Chair, and this issue, when we appeared before this committee in June, was resolved, one of the 7 issues which were resolved. Thank you.
Remember, we didn't substantively go into the issues. We just asked headline, which issues are resolved. We didn't drill into it, because I was the one who was chairing this meeting. So, OAG, is it a fact that this 687 has already been explained? From a financial perspective?
Yes, Chairman. There is the amount of 687, that one was resolved from the examination of report of the Auditor General stage.
Please, because when we took this report to the House, it followed a substantive audit, it followed submission of documentation, it even followed a physical appearance. Remember, the governor appeared before us before we took this report to the House. So at what point did the boarding passes come up? Were they being cooked?
No, Chairman. They looked genuine.
You have the capacity.
Chair, no, OAG, that's embarrassing. It cannot. If you are the ones who are to authenticate the documentation, then why are you telling us it looks genuine? What is the difference with what is happening in River Road?
I think OAG, just be careful so that you know you're the prosecutor. So that you don't sound like an advocate for the client.
Chair, and the point is, if they were looking for this, and look at the response from the governor, this documentation you are looking in that audit were never provided. How then is it resolved now?
Now,
Chair, if you look at our recommendation, which was 60 days, the OAG should be telling us there were boarding passes provided, copies of passport, where they stamp entry and exit to where they are traveling to, which is easy to audit.
Chair, given the uncertainty on this matter, I'd request that you stay with your earlier direction, that this matter be checked to its logical conclusion. Because I've never interacted with the gentleman from OAG, but I'm not very certain that what he's telling me gives me the confidence on behalf of the people that I represent here that what he's saying is accurate and true. Because 1 minute he says, yes, it is sorted, but then that is verbally. Then, Chair, why I'm concerned by this matter is an information that, and Governor, you are fully aware about this, that we have a serious problem in our county where reports sometimes of county assembly have fingered some of your officers and saying these documents, the authenticity could not be confirmed. That is why in government institutions, such as even, and what you're asking the county to do is not strange, it is what we do here in Parliament. When I travel, if I don't file my returns, it is recovered from my next month's salary. And your CEC, Rob, you've been a member of Parliament, you know this, that this is such a serious matter. It's not a small issue. If you recall, CC Rob, one of your colleagues in the run-up to 2017 elections lost his seat just on account of revelation that they had done what is suspected to have happened here, the then member for Naivasha. You remember it was a big story. So this is not a small matter as it appears. I want to get the over and above what is being confirmed here, that in the standard operating procedure that the governor now commits and says that we have put in place standard operating procedure on foreign travel and subsistence, that it is accurate and precise to the point that when somebody travels, the filing can be ascertained. The fact that it takes long for somebody to provide a boarding pass, something which you're given when you're boarding, you come back home with it, you know procedurally that you're supposed to hand it, but then you wait until an audit period is not a short time. It takes a while. It's a couple of months. For you to reproduce it months later, in fact, I don't expect that when you're not able to produce a boarding pass at the first time of asking, that you will later find it, unless you find a creative way of generating it, because you're likely to have lost it. That's why people pass them on. So, Chair, I still want to request that you stick to your earlier proposal, unless the OAG can give us in writing that commitment that he is certain this has been properly addressed. Otherwise, the way he fidgeted with his answer initially did not give me the confidence.
Chair, point of information. I remember there was a MCS, was it Makweni or Kitui, who were being financed. There was no clarity on this surrender, and the ESCC went ahead and recovered. I don't know whether they were three. So it looks similar. This is the similar situation.
That was Makweni. Senator Alilegwe?
I think it was Makweni.
Senator Alilegwe?
Chair, on the auditor's observations, they said that the accuracy and completeness of the foreign travel and subsistence expenditure amounting to was not confirmed. So I don't know what to believe, because they are telling us again that this expenditure was fully supported. I don't know whether we should rely on what they have put on record here or what they are giving us orally.
So with all these doubts that are coming up, and remember we are still dealing with 600,000 out of a huge budget of almost 8 billion. We therefore retain our earlier recommendation. This matter remains unresolved, and auditor, when a matter is unresolved, we expect we will find it in the next audit cycle. Can we get that assurance?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah. But also because of the doubts that are coming up, we will substitute DCI with EACC. So then EACC be seized of this matter. If those boarding passes were indeed submitted to the OAG, I think you are the ones with the tools to establish authenticity. I think the OAG sometimes looks at things at face value, but you can go much deeper on this.
Just a question, Chair, sorry to take you back. I'd asked earlier in my submission to know what are these now new SOPs that the governor said we have implemented. Even just a brief highlight for my comfort and for the comfort of the committee, just to be sure that we don't run into this again, even as we check.
Governor?
Chair, as we welcome EACC. Annex 3. Annex 3 of the standard operations that we have put, and one of them that is the county government of Kericho. I don't know if my senator is already there. Yeah. Okay, my senator. So, Chairman, Annex 3 gives us the financial policy and procedural manuals. What is that? So we've just picked in a few guidelines. For example, invoices. The one. Surrender procedure, page 28, Chairman. So interest must be accounted for within 48 hours of completion of the activity and must only be spent for the intended activities. And if not accounted for or surrendered in 48 hours, it will be treated as a staff debt and recovered from the salary of the applicant. That is one of the procedures we have put in place here. B, applicant returns unutilized funds to the cash office and receipt is issued for over expenditure. The impress holder must receive authorization from the relevant accounting officer where the excess over the impress is material. Additional authorization must be received from the head of that department. The impress surrender must be accompanied by the requisite supporting documents detailed in section 13.1.5 below, which should be stamped, paid. C, the accountant examines the impress surrender for completeness and accuracy, and if satisfied, the impress surrender is forwarded to the accounting officer for authorization of the actual expenditure. D, the accountant updates the impress control register with the authorized impress surrender cleared against the original warrant. And E, the cashier posts the impress surrender into the cash pool. So, Honorable Chair, those are some of the measures that are in place.
So we can refer to that annexure so that when we are also doing our report, we have the assurance that you have taken action. But you missed a point where the members were asking, did you take action on the officers who failed to provide the documents on time? And is there evidence of anything?
Chair, since the documents had already been presented, like we say, Chairman, we had surrendered or we had submitted documents like twice by June. And since the documents are already there, Chairman, it had not necessitated the kind of suggestion, but I am much grateful for the advice from the members, and we will be taking care of that as well to the future.
I think you need clear guidance on that. Vice Chair.
This document, the county government of Kericho, financial policies and procedures, is not dated. We don't know when it was adopted. And so if we knew when it was adopted, then we would take the view in the current audit 24-25 and see if there's somebody who has not surrendered the documents in time within 48 hours, and if then they have been surcharged. Because we might come across these same issues in this audit 24-25. So I wish I knew when this policy document became operational, so then that we can test it with the current audit.
I get you, Vice Chair. Through the chair, yes, sorry, we only, it's a larger document that we adopted at Cabinet, but we only uplifted what we thought was relevant for this committee. I don't have the exact dates as it is, but I think it was around July thereabout.
Now, maybe before I lose this, so that because the governor does not seem to understand why we are recommending administrative action. Failure to provide documents during the audit is an offence.
Okay.
That is a problem.
Okay,
It is not that they were presented later on.
Okay.
If they are not available during the audit, that is an offence under Section 52 of the Public Audit Act.
Okay.
And it is on that basis that we are saying you take administrative action.
Okay. Chair, I get you. I apologize for that, Chair, and I didn't know that, but I've now known. Thank you.
Senator Dulo?
Chair, on this particular document that Vice Chair is referring to, CEC Finance is there. You should be able to tell us when the document was submitted to the Assembly and when it has been approved, whether it's in operation. As it is, you know, even if they have lifted what is there, we might not know whether this document belongs to the County Assembly of, the County Government of Kericho or not.
Thank you, Chair.
I think the CAC should be able to explain to us about this particular document.
Chair, I want to confirm to this House that, yes, the SOPs was passed in Cabinet, sitting that was done on 21st of May 2025. I have the record here with me. So this thing was approved by the Cabinet.
Your document shows adopted dash.
Yeah, we just picked a few pages. So there is a full document that is already adopted.
If this document is actually presented as an evidence,
Yes.
is it admissible?
It is.
No, it's not. It's not admissible.
Chair, you know, the Waziri was here with us, Rob, and he knows this are quasi-judicial mechanism like the status
Not
of
to
the
help you,
High Court.
Gerard, he was vice chair for PAC, so he knows very well.
He was the vice chair of PAC, which I was before Maruma. So he knows the game very well. Unless Kamejekiti governor is
No, I'm not. Sure.
Orders.
I have no bad intentions.
The only
Then he must apologize to the CCM.
only languages approved here, English, Swahili, and sign language. And your comments do not
say
fall
anything
there.
out of ordinary.
Can you repeat what he said in Kalenjin in English?
No, that's why I was saying unless he wanted to mislead the governor.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Honorable members, it's approaching 5 o'clock. I think the people of Kericho expect us to get to the bottom of this report. We have made many observations on this, and I've said that our recommendation on investigation of the 600 still holds. For the OAG also to ascertain that that 600 was really accounted for, and this matter then must find its way in the subsequent report. Patrick?
Chairman, just to add on what you've said, although you already ruled, this matter is also being followed by the liaison office with the DCI, so that we also want to establish what action DCI has taken on the recommendation made by this committee. And this report is going to come to this committee towards the end of the year. You have also added that EACC also picks up the matter. So, Chairman, the issue is not lost.
So what you do with your liaison office, if DCI has made progress, then let's leave it there. But if they've not taken any action, then we leave it to EACC. It's easier because EACC has a liaison here.
I agree, Chair.
Yeah, so you can liaise with EACC on that. Now, there are a number of paragraphs. The third paragraph is also unsupported payments for insurance services. 40.9 million was unsupported. We have looked at your response, Governor, and in your response, whereas you have told us some stories around policy, there is nowhere where you have told us that the valuation reports are hereby attached, the required documentation is hereby attached. All you have done is to give us some stories around establishment of an asset management unit and update of your asset valuation register. Where in your response have you satisfied the committee that the valuation reports detailing the cost of insured assets and liabilities have now been provided for audit? Where have you provided the basis of arriving at the insurance cost amounting to 40.9 million? Because that was a query. That was the nucleus of the query. Is there anywhere in your response and your supporting documents where we are able to see those valuation reports and the basis for the 40 million?
Thank you, Chair. Let me ask Accountant Fernandez to respond.
Yeah, just point us to your response where we can get that. Because the rest are stories, are hygiene factors.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The process of doing valuation is still ongoing. Honorable Chair, we have transitioned to accrual basis of accounting, which requires us to report assets.
Officer,
Yes.
we all take insurance, even if we take third-party insurance. We know that by the time you're paying premium, there is a sum insured. That sum insured has been valued. So don't tell us about the stories about IGRTC. This is specific. You bought insurance cover worth 40.9 million, but the valuation reports were not provided. You know, this is such a simple thing because underwriters do their own valuations. So don't take us into that long story. For a premium of 40.9, where is the valuation of the assets that are being insured? I thought that was a query. Auditor General, am I asking a foreign question?
Exactly, that's what we are asking the query.
Was it provided subsequently?
No.
So, Governor, this is such a simple thing because if you cannot provide it, then we can assume that you're playing games with insurers to inflate your premiums so that your commissions can also be high. So, Officer, can you now give us a better response?
Chair, and the valuation report is important because they arrive at the insurance Kericho County at 40,939,739. So what was the basis of arriving at this if it is not inflating the premiums?
It's really simple.
Yes.
Officer.
And premium is a percentage of the value. So where did they get these 40
How
million?
can you not provide the valuation reports to justify the premium paid?
And which assets were being insured? We don't know the assets that are being insured.
Honorable Chair, thank you. When we were procuring for the insurance services, we provided the list of the assets to be insured, but the cost was based on historical cost. That is the cost of acquisition. We have not done revaluation because it is an ongoing process. And come the subsequent audit cycles, we will be able to, in the establishment of the Asset Management Committee, we have all the officers.
Officer, who is the underwriter for this 40.9 million? Is it one or various?
Trident Insurance.
Trident?
Yes.
What class of insurance is this? Motor, fire, health?
The policies which are covered are covering on...
For the 40.9?
Yes. For motor vehicles, which we provided the logbooks to the auditor, and the cost is historical. We've never done...
So Trident can cover a motor vehicle without doing a valuation?
Subject to confirmation, Chairman, I'll need to confirm the underwriter.
No, but you, my friend, we...
Are you an ISPAC fellow?
Yes.
And you know ISPAC is here, in this room.
So you're saying your motor vehicle insurance was done without a valuation? And historical cost means, Governor, the car you drive in is a TX, VX, All those acronyms, it's a V8.
The premium chair, the rest are for government.
No, the governor's car, because I believe it was part of those insured.
Or the government one?
Yeah.
Because I only have one vehicle at premium. The government one is a TX.
Bro, assuming, and I might be inaccurate, because as we buy second-hand ones, assuming a brand new one, let's just process this thought. A brand new one could be what, 20 million?
Yeah, 15 to 20 million.
20 million.
At Toyota Kenya.
With the trims befitting of a governor, it might be 20 million.
And it's customized.
So, officer, when you talk of historical cost, that is what you mean, the cost at which it was purchased.
Yes, Honorable Chair, that is the cost of purchase.
So that is a basis for you to compute your sum insured.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
But you know that in the insurance industry, motor vehicles depreciate at a fairly, large rate, that a vehicle that was 20 million at purchase, 3-4 years later on, if you insure at 20 million, you're wasting taxpayers' money. And that is why valuation is done. Now, so remember, this is a scam. Well, no, let me not call it a scam. A scheme to ensure that the premium is big. Is there an agent or a broker in this arrangement?
Chair, I can confirm that we don't
Your officer is looking for answers behind. Let's allow him to answer.
From the Director of Procurement.
Okay.
Honorable Chair, I'm getting confirmation that this is the insurance company and not a broker.
Is there an agent?
No.
Should we put you under oath?
Chair, I've just noted that the person or the Chief Officer Finance for Kericho County, when they are doing the round of introduction, is not present in the meeting and is the one who have signed these reports.
Sorry, I missed that. The gentleman is, I thought you were the chief officer.
No, that's a deputy.
Deputy?
I'm the Deputy Director, Accounting Services.
Where's the Director, Accounting Services? Governor?
Chair, I have, he has requested for permission on this specific date because he's sitting for a certain customer exam that is quite difficult to pronounce. It's beyond CPA something, say up something. And let me read it, Chair.
No, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah. What about the chief officer?
That is the chief officer.
That's the chief officer.
Yeah,
the director?
Director is him.
He says he's deputy director.
The organograph of the county government of Kericho provide that we have the chief officer and then we have the director of accounting, which we have not recruited, and substantively in his letter.
Also, he's
acting. Yeah.
Now, members, I don't know whether you understand why Governor have a little bit of experience in the insurance industry, and that's why I am amazed that you take cover on historical cost without a valuation. It means you are paying probably 50% more than you'd pay in terms of insurance premiums. So why can't your officers push for a proper valuation for insurance purposes? Because historical cost is for asset register purposes in government accounting.
Yeah.
But for insurance, it needs to be on indemnity value.
Chair, because basically what the chair is saying is that Governor, you have bought insurance for and paid an amount on whose value you have absolutely no idea. If you are asked, you paid Trident 40 million, but the question is for a cover of goods worth how much? What Fernandez is explaining is that he cannot tell. It's based on history. And that's what the chair is asking. Is that really a prudent way of managing public resources?
Chair, the governor said before Vice Chair comes, so that I don't
Okay,
lose
make
the
it brief,
thought.
then we go to the Vice Chair.
Even if he drives a premium car, which I highly doubt, he must pay certain insurance. That premium must do evaluation before the premium car that is being driven by a governor is paid for insurance. I don't think he just goes and say, I want to pay 100,000 for my premium for the insurance cover. It must be attached to a certain value that is done by the insurer.
So, Chair, what I wanted to ask is, there must have been tendering, competitive bidding that was done. If the bidding was done competitively, did you supply any documents, even if there was no valuation done? Did you supply the tender documents, the valuation reports? Are they there? So much so that whatever is missing now is just the valuation.
Actually, to help you, Senator Maroma, because you're asking the right question, this tender, it was for to procure insurance services for goods worth how much?
Chair, I'm trying to follow. Sorry. I'm trying to follow. They have mentioned that there is, they are saying that they used some report, an extract of the report which was used for insurance purposes is attached as Annexure 3A. I haven't seen that Annexure 3A.
Where is that reference made?
Is that anywhere in the documents you submitted?
Is it in their written response?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is here.
They're saying about 3A and 3B, but I can't see them anywhere. I can't see any report on insurance.
It's only 3.
In your documentation.
Governor, could you point us to that?
Just trying to figure out where is
You
it.
have, you have said you used a report. Where is that report? There is a report which was used for insurance purposes for the county's assets.
I'm trying to have the accountant lead me into it.
Or are you probably are referring to our earlier report, isn't it? They are earlier written responses, not the current one.
Okay.
Not the current one. But you have made a point that is useful, because if in March you had annexed that report, then you should be able to answer these questions that we are asking. Governor, it makes you look really bad that you have taken insurance, but you don't know the values of the things you have insured.
Yep.
I think, Chair, it's a common knowledge in the market. How do you insure a car without knowing its value? How? What are you insuring? Maybe you could be insuring a car worth 2 million, then you get an insurance of 5 million. So where is there is no prudence?
I don't know, and ISPAC will be getting your insights on this, because the question would be, what would a competent accountant do? What would be the expectation of a member of your institute in that case? The professional expectation.
How do you let this kind of information out to the public? No, it's...
Chair, and the money you are discussing is 40 million plus. So how do you arrive at that 40 million? Is it prudent use of resources? We know Kenyans pay through the nose for taxes, and you go and say, I'll pay insurance 40 million for these assets, which even the report Senator Okongo Mgeni has raised on the extract of the report that was used by the valuation. So this 40 million to me looks like it's not real. It was spent on air in quotes, because if you cannot give us the track on how the 40 million was used, attached to what basis, to what value, then that 40 million, the spending of that 40 million cannot be accounted for.
Yeah, do we have a procurement officer in this congregation?
I think she was there.
The lady behind.
And I think she has been there for some time.
Yeah. So to ISPAC, what is your advice? Because your role here is also to help these county officers to know what they are supposed to do.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. On the onset, we need to understand that procurement is just a function that facilitates the other activities. So before they procure the insurance for the motor vehicles, what should have happened is that they should have liaised with the other department, in this case the finance department, which is the owner of the assets of the organizations, and therefore they prepare that valuation report that we are talking about. What the senators are mentioning here is that they need to have a record of what we are supposed to insure against. They have a record. Then there is even a classification of all the assets as per the professional requirements, that if a certain asset should fall in a certain class, you depreciate them at a certain rate. So that is mandatory for any professional, that you cannot just ignore something like that. Okay. So ordinarily, you cannot just give an arbitrary figure and not support it. So we expect the documents to be in place to support that this is an asset A, that the value has been done at the current market rate. This one, then we are, because there is always a market value and a forced value, so we are ensuring that the county is able to get value in the event of something happening with that particular asset. So in this case, maybe I'm also lost as to what the professionals were doing in terms of helping the county to come up with a clear record of what they are insuring. So the value for money, we are questioning the value of money, and the procedures have actually been violated in this particular case.
Okay, we'll come back to the underwriter, and where the law says that this committee can even propose debarment of a service provider. But OAG, you're the one who did the audit.
Thank you, Chair. When it comes to insurance of assets, assets have two values. There's the cost of the asset, and then when we want to insure that asset, there's what we call valuation for insurance. So even if you bought a new car, the value you're insuring could be less. And the risk is if you overinsure, then it means you can't get value for compensation in case of any eventuality. Thank you.
As for my knowledge sake, because this must be mitigated, and if finally ESCC finds that there was actual loss of money, then who should be surcharged? Is it the procurement people? Is it the finance guys? Or is it all of them? Who would be surcharged? Oh, yes, I think.
Chair, I want to raise the issue. Anything to do with procurement is done by the procurement department. Finance and accounts will do the payments after everything else has been done.
Yes, you see?
Chair, to answer the question on matters procurement, when it comes to culpability of funds that have been either misappropriated or spent without justification, it falls on the accounting officer. The responsibility is on the accounting officer. Okay.
Insurance companies are clever, because in such a scenario, there's a clause that they put called the average clause. So you can overinsure, but when there's a claim, they will pay you what the actual value was rather than what you had insured. And so that is loss of money. 40 million, I've just checked, is the summation of what you're collecting from markets, vehicle parking fees, and advertising. Collecting all that money and throwing it into insurance. So, Governor, maybe the final word. Do we make the conclusion that you don't have a proper asset valuation?
Chair, I've just been looking into the documents that we briefly submitted, and we have the itemized vehicles and the fair value that was bought and the remarks.
And the value is historical cost.
Yes, that's why I'm coming to where you are, Chair. This is historical. And then I've also seen what the insurance company quoted here, and the sum insured, the rate, the premium, and the remarks. I agree with you, Chair, that as it is, we've been relying on a valuation which was for a long time done in Kericho, or not current or updated one. And since I put in place a committee to do a proper evaluation, Chair, I request that this committee give me 7 days to do the proper evaluation.
Can you confirm, since you have the paperwork, who is the underwriter?
It is called Driden.
Now, clerks, in our report, we must also mention that underwriter and call to question the professionalism and find out whether what they're doing is in line with the Insurance Act. Because that kind of situation, as the auditor has said, there are always two values. There could be some complicity between the underwriter and the entity. So I think let's capture that in observation. Auditor General, this matter again keep in view. We expect that you give us a better update.
I think since we used to do cash accounting, we didn't capture the whole scenario, but in the current audit, we've captured the whole picture about the insurance expenses in the county, and I think it will be in the report.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, again, the next issue is retention monies.
Chair, before you go there, I just want to confirm to one member here that indeed I only drive a premium vehicle and I'm minimalist because of what used to have the whole world at Lucia Soldier. I don't have driving a premium, a big vehicle.
Your responses, which are unprovoked, can lead you into a lot of problems. So let's go back to the numbers, because if you took Cherargei in that direction, this meeting will not end.
And
So-
that is, Chair, that is dangerous because in one of the religious meetings, he was saying he has money. He was daring, and I can table that.
That is
video.
why I don't want us to get into that
Yes,
conversation.
and if he goes that direction,
So now,
he was saying in
the next
so
matter
you can imagine.
is a matter that formed part of the impeachment proceedings or allegations.
But Chair, money is also relative because you can't measure the much you have. Maybe much for me is 1,000
Order, Governor.
and my for Cherargei is a
Governor, if you want us to proceed with this meeting, allow me to drive it. Otherwise, it's going to terminate at this point. Retention monies. Retention monies. OAG, the queries that you addressed there, were they resolved? Retention monies. I remember this came up several times during the impeachment proceedings. The aging analysis was lacking. Reconciliation breakdown was not provided for audit.
It was not cleared.
To date?
Yeah, it's not.
Even up to now, it is not clear.
Yeah, because, sorry, Chair, I have to take you back. These documents, when they brought, we had the confusion about what report we had to discuss, they had brought some documents, but for this one, it was not brought. Thank you.
I think it's of public interest for us to probe this a little bit. Governor, you may tell us what action you have taken to ensure the breakdown of reconciliation of retentions and deposits of 76 million. It's really about visibility and transparency of that amount. I think we were all present when certain allegations were made. Those allegations are not in this report. So what we deal with now is just reconciliation and a proper schedule and an assurance that you are paying the right people, an assurance that you are paying when payments are due, and an assurance that you are not borrowing from these deposits and retentions account to do other things. Is that assurance in your written response?
The county government acknowledges the committee's observations and recommendations regarding the supported deposit balance of 76 million appreciation. The following measures have been undertaken and institutionalized. Number one, the county government has commenced a complete reconciliation of the deposit and retention ledger, which includes preparing a detailed aging analysis of all deposit and retentions. Number two, linking each balance to specific contracts, suppliers, or performance guarantees. This exercise is ongoing, and to this end, the CCM Finance has appointed a team to oversee development of master register for retention money, as shown in Annex 50. But then the accountant tells me that, let me ask the accountant to say something on it.
Okay, please proceed quite fast because of time.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We have instituted these controls touching on retention, and now we are maintaining a retention register and a control ledger for each department. That is what we have done. Thank you.
My main worry is this. If you see, when you pay a contractor, the retention, isn't it deducted automatically? The withholding tax?
Yeah, it is.
There are certain deductions that are processed in the system.
Yes.
So if those deductions can be processed in the system, isn't it possible to click a button and say, I want to get a statement of deposits and retentions? If I was to design a system, that would be very possible. Is it that IFMIS cannot do that?
Honorable Chair, the integration between IFMIS and internet banking, there is a gap there, whereby when you deduct from IFMIS, it will show you've deducted 10% from a certain supplier. But when you move the money to the retention account, the details do not reflect in the bank statement. But we still have the master because of the original source is the IFMIS. And that report is now when you go to the bank statement, look at the balances, the individual lines. Which
Now, you lose us, even though I'm still with you. When you make that payment to contractor called Chirarke and Sons for construction of a road, 6% is retained. Is it 6%? Is it 6%?
10.
It's 10%. 10% is retained. The source, at the point at which that 10% is retained, it's in IFMIS, isn't it? So you can have a listing of every contractor where 10% was retained as retention, isn't it? So why do you need to set up another committee?
So I feel it's a very easy exercise.
Help us understand. I know you are bringing in the IB complications, which sometimes tells you that you retain from supplier X, but use the amount to pay supplier Y. Auditor.
Thank you. Maybe they get it wrong because they don't do the retention as it should be done. Because as accounted, they should be having what we call a deposit account, whereby once they do the retention, they pay that money to that deposit account. But since they
like a statutory remittance.
Yes, they have their own bank account where when we check the bank balance versus the retentions, they have to be equal. But that is never done in the government generally.
But auditor, you cited this amount of 76 million.
Yes.
Where did you see it? I thought it was
in the financial statements. Isn't the financial
it was not
statements?
in an account.
Yes. It's
So,
not,
Governor, is that money there?
Yes,
Or
we
you
have,
borrowed it for
we have a deposit account and the money is there.
Why didn't the auditor see it? They've only seen it on the statements, but not in the account.
There are usually bank balances in your financial statements. Are you able to show us the bank, the account, and the balance on it? Because if we don't deal with this, your members of county assembly gave an impression that the management of deposits and retentions falls below the requirements of the law. This would be your opportunity to confirm that you're doing the right thing. But what I'm hearing is that you're setting up a committee to review something that does not need a committee.
Because we chair can confirm that we have a deposit account and all the retentions go to that account. And what I know is that we pay them on an aging procedure.
So, officer, usually disclose balances, bank balances, accounts and balances. Are you able to demonstrate to us that 76 million is somewhere?
Chair, just another further thing. The CC also has something on it.
Chair, I happen to have served as an accountant in the ministry long before I came to Parliament. And when I was moved to Treasury in Kericho County, I found it a bit absurd the way retention is being done. So I purposely, after appearing before the county assembly, came and said we want to establish a master retention register, because formally or usually they used to retain at the department. It is the department to have a register once a payment is done, they set aside the 10%, it is entered in the register. So at the Treasury, we didn't have the real documents. We were relying again on information from the accounting officers of departments. So I said, let us establish a master register for all retentions. And we want to, every retention, because the official receipts are still there, and those are government documents. We want to issue an official receipt to every contractor whose 10% has been deducted. For purposes of now, when you are claiming, you come with the original, so that we will know this is so-and-so, it has been paid. Rather than relying on the systems, the systems can also mislead. So I thought we should be having a tangible thing.
So, Mheshimiwa, you are telling us we forget about the system, we go to your master register?
No, we need both there, so that the system will be speaking together with the master register, so that it is easy even for me to look at it and say, you are paying so-and-so, where is it entered? I will see it in the master register.
Why are you guys over-engineering a very simple thing? It's over-engineering. Were you using IFMIS in those days?
We were not using IFMIS then.
Yeah, so there is
we are using manual.
There is IFMIS now. Don't take Kericho back to your days of manual, please. The direction must be IFMIS. And if you are to use IFMIS, it does not matter whether it was processed in a department or in a sub-department, because it is a centralized system. I used to build systems in my past, so I'm wondering why this cannot work. Senator Cheriot, surely. You know your senator is the leader of the entire house. We shall report that in Kericho, they are moving away from IFMIS back to manual registers.
No, we are not moving away from IFMIS. I'm saying for ease of reference, let us have a master register that we can easily verify, even with the system.
You are very lucky Sifuna is not here. He would have reminded you a few things about Chebukati. Now, so what we are being told is that there is some progress.
Yes. But looking at the financial statement, if you look at the financial statement, that is note number 13A, in 2023 there was, is it the most recurrent on this 76,768,907? Does it reflect the entire retention that is in the deposit? Or what is the cure that Rob wants to cure? If you look at note number 13A, 26 million has been captured. It is only the current plus the past in terms of these retention deposits. Is that the reason he wants to prepare the master?
I also don't know what he wants to cure, because...
And then it is unwritten.
There is a note 15 in the financial statement. What just lacked was aging analysis, reconciliation and breakdown. That was not provided. If you just provide it, then everything will be okay. So this thing of decentralizing, each department having its register, then now you are centralizing the register, I don't think it washes. What we're just asking for is, we have cited money in the retention account, but there is no aging analysis. There is no reconciliation. We don't know the breakdown of which contractors are owed that money. I think it was very simple. So this thing, we're trying to cure something that is not there.
National Treasury, are we expecting IFMIS to do something it cannot do?
Chair, I don't think IFMIS will open the bank account. Generally, what is supposed to be done, when you pay a contractor, there is the 10%. It's supposed to be removed from the development bank account to deposit bank account. The county should be telling us deposit account in the bank as this much. It consists of this number of contractors who are retaining their money. That is the only way we can know that is retention or not retention. But I don't think the system, if Meso only have the figure which is in the bank.
So we just for progress, because we have had the county assembly raise allegations of utilization of deposits and retentions account. I would have hoped that we would get clarity today before the Senate. Unfortunately, we have reached a similar conclusion, because your officers say that they are still in the process of
Chair,
reconciling.
can I add something?
So we may agree broadly with the Assembly without necessarily agreeing with the specific details that they presented to us. Senator
This one
Cherargei.
might enrich your ruling. When you look at note number 15, deposits and retention, in 2023, 76,768 was the current one. And you look at aging analysis, under 1 year it was 76, but the rest of 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years, in the previous year it was 91 million. So where did the retention, was it paid out, or what happened to 91 million, 646,566? If you look at that,
So
would it add to 76, 91 million?
It raises a lot of questions, so let's allow the...
And there is no clarity.
Let's allow the OAG to keep it in view, reporting it in this current year. If you are not able to get the details, then this again will be referred for investigation and prosecution. So that applies to anything headed unsupported. Unsupported domestic travel and subsistence allowance. Auditor General, keep that in view. If you can't get the supporting documentation, hand it over to the EACC. Let's deal with non-collection of on-source revenue. That will allow us to have some conversations on ROR. Auditor General, I think just read out your finding there. It is an interesting story. Then we... No. Non-collection of on-source revenue. 6. As we interrogate, we'll make references to the ROR report.
Thank you, Chair. Non-collection of on-source revenue. 6.1, unauthorized operation of mobile money payments. The statement of receipts and payments reflects transfer from the county revenue fund of 5,913,233,097 as disclosed in Note 1 to the financial statements. The amount includes exchequer releases and on-source revenue appropriated by the county assembly to fund the county executive. Records reveal the revenue collected by the receiver of revenue excluded on-source revenue from inspection fee for fire compliance. An inspection fee of 3,500 was levied in the Finance Act for the period but was not being collected at the time by the county government. An officer of the county government, however, registered and operated a mobile payment number which was not authorized by the county treasurer to collect the fee. The statement for the number indicates credit entries of 152,290 and debit entries of 141,852 for the period 24th January 2024 up to 5th August 2024. Internal investigations on the matter recommended disciplinary action on the officer. However, collection of on-source revenue and transfer to the county executive was understated by the amount not collected. In the circumstances, the regret of cash collected through mobile payment number could not be confirmed. Thank you.
Clerk, what was our observation and recommendation?
Chairman, the committee recommended the county governor undertakes administrative
Start with observation.
Okay, the committee observed that whereas disciplinary action is commendable, the county executive did not indicate whether the uncollected or misappropriated funds of Kenya citizens 152,290 credited and 141,852 debited have been recovered or properly accounted for. The committee was also concerned that an unauthorized mobile payment number can get registered and operated by a county officer without Treasury's approval.
Therefore, we recommended?
And therefore, the committee recommended that the governor undertakes administrative actions against the officer who failed to provide documents to the Auditor General during the audit process and provide the status report to the Auditor General within 60 days of the adoption of this report. The committee also recommends that the DCI investigates the unauthorized collection of Kenya shillings 152,290 by a county staff and where criminality is established, refer the matter to the Director of Public Prosecutions to the DPP. The committee further recommends that the Auditor General audits the outstanding matter in the subsequent audit cycle.
Governor, this is quite a sensitive matter, so I'll allow you to read your written response so that we do not misunderstand you.
The Honorable Chairman, the County Executive appreciates the committee's keen observation regarding the non-collections of inspection fees for fire compliance and the related issues of unauthorized mobile payment registration. We acknowledge these observations raise important concerns on revenue integrity, oversight and compliance with established financial management controls. Upon internal review, it was established that an officer within the county executive irregularly registered and operated a mobile payment number that was not sanctioned by the county government. The said number received credit entries amounting to Kenya shillings 152,290 and a debit entry of Kenya shillings 141,852 between 24th January and 5th August 2024. In response to this matter, the county government undertook the following corrective and administrative actions. Number one, disciplinary action. The officer involved was subjected to a due disciplinary process in accordance with the county human resource policies and public service commission regulations, culminating in termination of service. A copy of the dismissal letter has been provided in Appendix 6. Number two, strengthening of revenue controls. To forestall recurrence of similar incidents, the county executive has instituted a range of structural and administrative reforms, including rollout of a unified revenue collection system that is fully integrated with the county government and approved mobile money platforms, ensuring end-to-end transparency and traceability of receipt. A copy of system rollout communication has been attached in Annex 6.1. Revision of the county revenue collection guidelines to explicitly prohibit registration or operation of any payment channel outside Treasury approval. Number three, establishment of clear authorization process in line with Public Finance Management Section 119 that has a mandatory requirement of CCM finance and economic planning before activation of any revenue collection account. Routine internal audit monitoring of all mobile and digital revenue streams to ensure compliance and early detections of anomalies. Chair, just in a nutshell, Chair, because this is a matter I'm seized of. The officer, when the report came, this was a ward administrator. His name is called Jesimet. And when the report came to me, we immediately instructed the Public Service Board to take action because the County Act provides guidelines on disciplining any culpable officer. So the County Public Service Board undertook their processes and found that indeed the officer was culpable and he was dismissed. He is no longer a staff of the county government of Kericho County.
What about the, and I think that's what ought to happen, even though there's a criminality aspect of it, which, Patrick, isn't this one of those you are discussing with the liaison at DCI to find out what action has been taken from the criminal aspect?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay, so we can wait for your advice on that. There was another leg to it about the inspection fee of 3,500, which was levied but not reported. Was this addressed, Auditor?
It wasn't. Because ordinarily what should have happened before even they dismissed the officer, they should have looked for ways of recovering this money which was collected outside the system, and maybe come up with measures which can bar anybody in future to operate a system, because this system could not be detected. So the measures put in place should be maybe brought to us.
Ni vile tu wakora hawataisha Kenya. You'll always find those cases. They'll be dismissed, but then they should also be pursued to the full extent.
Chair, I want to believe this administrator might have been in service. And I would have expected the governor saying, apart from being dismissed, there was as a charge to recover, maybe from that man's salary or any allowances that maybe the county government owed. So that even if it was not sufficient. And then secondly, Chair, before he answers that, you know that the headline is non-collection of one source revenue. So I don't know where would have that with receiver of revenue, so that was I had another question when you say
because of time.
Yeah, in fact, I want to agree with Gerard Gay that we focus on this one of what is the proper title?
Because when you look at
non-collection. I think this matter has been properly addressed. If you check the annexure that has been attached, 6 has been dismissed and that money will be recovered. So I think that's fair enough. What's more important, Chair? Let's focus on the OSR.
Because I wanted to ask a further question of this non-collection. Maybe tied up with the own source revenue. Is there a way we can tie both?
Yes, that was the intention. We are dealing with this and referring to the ROR report.
Maybe Chair, I can go on record on source revenue. When I took over county government of Kericho,
we have not asked questions.
Governor, let us be guided by
when it is choosy for me, Chair is running away from it. He wants to look when it is bad is when you tell
Chair, you know, the governor in his previous life was a lecturer. He was lecturing students. Now this is different, kidogo.
We will not be driven. We will not be driven by juice. We'll be driven by these numbers here. And when you look at these numbers, you might realize that they're not that juicy. So we say we focus on non-collection of on-source revenue. So the first question was the inspection fee of 3,500 was levied but not collected. So we need to know, was it levied and not collected, or levied but collected but not reported? Auditor General, you need to advise us.
Yeah, the fee was collected but not reported because
it was collected.
Because it went to the officer. So the officer was collecting.
Oh, it is a 157.
Yes.
Oh, so that this 3,500 is tied to.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's come back because we now need to deal with the ROR. Let's come back to the ROR, and officers, I hope the governor has a detailed ROR statement. This is your statement. Your county receiver of revenue is George Kirer. Is George here?
No, he's the one that yes, he's out.
He's the one doing exams.
Yes.
The reports were co-signed by Bernard Kipkurui Koros. Bernard is here.
He's here.
Okay, and is the one who attached his ISPAC member number. Governor, I know you wanted to talk about how revenue has grown in Kericho. But before we give you that opportunity, could you tell us why vehicle parking fees dropped by 6 million?
I'm trying to.
And then, why market fees dropped by 3 million? Why advertising dropped by 9 million? Start with those 3 revenue streams: vehicle parking fees, market fees, advertising. Yeah, fiscal planning also dropped by 6 million. I don't know. Tell us about these specific streams. Why are they dropping?
Yeah, for the markets, Chair, we had challenges a bit with the markets because we had shifted traders. There is a market that now we are almost done with it, and we had shifted traders from that particular market. And again, we also imposed a rule that limited hawking within the town. And part of this is what led to the drops in the market rates, Chair. For the vehicles, Chair, we had a situation which was not very rousy around this period of time, Chair. And we had not digitalized the collection of revenue even within the car parks. And it was really not an issue because the contract we had with the service provider had ended. And at the time, we wanted to advertise for procurement of the same Treasury issued a circular that they were onboarding counties to a nationwide system of revenue collection, and thus advised the counties not to procure a new system. So during this period, we dropped a bit within that sector, Chair.
So the system should then affect all the revenue streams rather than one.
You know, Chair, we designate people to do collections in one point or the other one. And I must admit, we had a problem as a county at that point of time.
So that one has explained parking fees or market fees?
But market fees, I indicated that we shifted from there. There's a new market that we are almost done with it. And when we shifted traders from there, we had lesser traders operating within that site. And also, we banned hawking in town from specific hours until evening. And it also affected on the collection at that particular time.
Advertising?
Advertising, Chair, now the problem is that adverts, you don't control who want to advertise what at that point of time. So probably that particular year, we didn't have a lot of people who wanted to advertise.
A 50% drop in an economy that is growing?
Chair, is relative. Even today, I'm not seeing a lot of adverts. But honestly...
No. Governor,
yeah.
Where is the accountant who signed these things off? You are giving us political responses. We want responses that are economic.
So let me ask Koros to respond.
And make sense. Because you can't tell me you collected 9 million less because of the economy.
Let me ask Koros to...
Everything else would have dropped by 50%. Dropped by 50%.
Honorable Chair.
What is the reason why you collected 9 million less in advertising?
Chair, let me...
50% less than prior.
Let me ask the Director of Revenue to respond to that, Chair.
And please give us a better reason rather than, the economy.
Thank you, Chair. I think main reasons why we...
What do you think? You are sure?
Okay. What contributed to this drop is you see now there is a dynamic in the advertisement where the providers are shifted to online. And even if you see the billboards, which we used to have in 22-23, some were empty during 23-24. And we took also advantage of the campaign period in 22-23, where people who were contesting were supposed to be paying for the display of portraits and the rest. So that one also overstated the collection of 22-23. Thank you.
So if you are to compare advertising revenue of 19 million with prior year, which was not an election year, we should see a difference.
Yes, there was an improvement in 22-23 contributed to that activities.
Okay.
Chair, let me take his political response. I think in that year under review, we had national celebrations in Kericho. Didn't we have that?
Yeah, during that year, yes, indeed, we had national celebration. All the space was taken by the county government, and pictures of all the governors, pictures of the president and portraits were coming all over there.
Hold on, Governor. Then that is where the problem is. Instead of telling us this business is low, it is him who made business to go low by putting pictures of governors. Why would a governor from Isiolo want to be seen in Kericho?
That was just 1 week.
Then it affected your revenue.
But why should that be free?
I don't know.
Anyway,
it was just marketing the event.
Secondly, Chair, just clarity from the Governor. Governor, you have said you have digitized all revenue streams. But in this year under review, you had moved back to manual revenue system.
That is 2023. That is the time.
We are in this year 23-24.
That is when the contract had elapsed.
So what happened? What is the story behind it?
Why would
you go manual, then digital, manual, then
Senator
manual?
Cherargei, that's an important question. Allow us to ask it at the end. Okay. Let them give us their stories line by line, because there are about 7 streams where there was a drop. Fine. So you are saying advertising, economy, nini. Public health service fee dropped by 3 million. What is the explanation?
Let me still ask the director to respond to that.
Thank you. When we resorted to manual, some collection collection is done at a facilities hospital. So some of the collection was deposited to hospital collection account, and it was reported under FIF. Thank you.
Can you provide evidence to that effect?
Yes, we can support.
We will not allow stories here.
Yes, we can
It's
support.
one story after the other. Let's have the catalogue of stories first. Physical planning and development dropped by 6 million.
Chair, you need to weigh, now they are giving political answers. Because at that time, the FIF Act was still being considered. We are discussing about the year under review, not now.
You see, what he's saying, it's just that he's trying to sanitize it, is a violation of the Act, because he says that when they went manual, the collections were being done at the facilities and done under FF. That is collection and utilization at source.
Correct.
Which is a violation of the PFM. I just want them to put all the excuses on the table. Then now we deal with them. Physical planning and development from 7.7 million to 1.5 million. 6 million drop. What is the story here?
Let me still ask the director to respond.
Thank you, Chair. What happened, we treat our fiscal planning as part of permit issue, that is licensing. So part of what was collected under fiscal planning was reported under business permits. That's why you see the business permit will move from 65 million to 161. So the ballooning was also part of...
You want to tell me that the 100 million growth under business permits ought to have been fiscal planning and development levies?
Part of it is fiscal.
My friend, are you an accountant?
Yes.
Are you a member of the institute?
Yes.
What is your ISPAC number?
18698.
Please take note, our liaison from ISPAC, because these are the people who need to be put under the radar. Accounting is not about stories. If you say that we collected this under this stream in the prior year and reported it in another stream, you must demonstrate. And you must provide that amount. So, please, again, you collected 7.7 million as fiscal planning and development. The subsequent year, you collected 1.5 million. What is the explanation?
I'll have to refer to the notes.
Because it means that you collected and pocketed when you went manual. That can be the only logical conclusion. Now let's go to administration control fees and charges. You collected 13.4 million, and then subsequent year, 5.5 million. 8 million less. Do we have an explanation that is quantitative, not qualitative?
No.
You have no explanation?
Now, I think the same case which applied to fiscal planning did happen also for administration. It's reported under business permit, because when we were issuing invoices, we bundled them, all the streams, like one invoice where you find...
When you do this table, aren't you comparing like for like?
No, we transitioned. Initially, we were using the system. So when we went for manual, we were issuing an invoice with several streams of revenue at a go. So when the client pays, they pay as a unified amount, and we did report them as permits.
Is there any other excuse that you have not used in the book?
Chair, while on that, you remember when Nairobi City County appeared on this matter, and Mwaruma was there, and I think a number of us, he was arguing on the basis of unified payment on the permit. That one was well disclosed, and like this. Even if this was an error, was it corrected in the subsequent financial year? That should
now,
be another...
the final one that you need to explain, then we open it up. Your hospital revenue dropped from 219 million to 181 million. 219 million to 181 million. That is almost 40 million. That is not 8. Because the thing that makes you look like you did well was NHIF rebates of 290 million. In the actual sense, your hospital revenue dropped by 40 million. What is the story?
Chair, I must admit that looking into all these things put together, like I indicated, this was a very difficult year of my
No, Governor, specific to hospitals.
The hospitals.
You know, you are giving a global view. We want the specific explanation, stream by stream.
I don't know if Dr. Chiruya is here. For hospitals. Dr. Kwame is here, he can explain to us.
Is he a designated collector of revenue?
No, he's the CC in charge.
Yeah, these are answers that should come from either collectors or receivers of revenue.
So we still go back to the director of...
yeah, because you said your receiver of revenue is not here.
Yeah.
So the director of revenue should tell us. Because the CC will give us policy stories. You'll start talking of SHA and all those kind of things.
You'll say that they had worked so well on preventive health.
Yes.
They had sensitized people to wash hands before they eat, and so few people are going to the hospital.
Director, please.
Director?
Thank you. I love to check from the schedule what really happened in comparative basis, because...
were you involved in preparation of these ROR statements?
No, I was given a schedule from the hospital to include in a report.
You don't ask questions from the hospitals? Why the revenue is dropping by 40 million? The same way, you have given a very lousy explanation on the hospital fee. No, not hospital fee. Public health service fee. You have given some explanation that was so flimsy that I can't remember. Honorable members, that's so.
Why can't you have a test of what the CC can say on this one? Because he's the one who is in hospital.
Okay. CC Health.
Chairman and honorable members, the difference in the revenue collection for hospitals is mainly due to waivers that we gave to patients who are unable to pay their hospital bills.
How much was it?
I think it was around 40 million.
Is there a schedule?
I can check with my CEO.
Where did the authority come for waivers? Because in terms of revenue,
Yes.
the procedure for waivers is spelled out in law.
Yes, we normally get in touch with the CC Finance to approve.
Were there approvals?
I'll need to confirm that with
Then
the...
don't tell us something that is not confirmed, please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What happened in this particular year for you to give very many waivers? Is it the heart of the government had changed and some maybe said, just give those waivers, or what happened?
Usually
so
we...
much so that you lose 40 million.
Actually, 40 million is a small figure, considering, because usually we work with a figure of about...
My friend, 40 million is what was collected as parking, what was collected from women in the market, what was collected from sales. Don't call it small. Maybe it's small in your world.
I'm well guided.
Not small in my world, you and the governors, those of us who drive premiums.
Well guided, Chairman.
No, I think we have a problem. And Governor, the reason why we took this approach is for you to see that there is a problem.
I appreciate
Do not
you.
be given headline figures.
Yeah.
And then you start feeling good about yourself.
I appreciate you.
There is a problem.
I appreciate.
We have 7, 8 revenue streams underperforming.
Yes.
Chances are people are collecting and pocketing.
I agree, Chair.
Honorable members, we open to.
There's explanation on drop on parking. Because the economy shows that more people are buying vehicles. So I expect the number of vehicles in Kericho to grow. So what is the explanation?
Chair, I'd given my, because I'm not an expert, but I say that was a difficult year. Because one, we didn't have a digital revenue collection system.
So the money was stolen.
I can't say because I don't have evidence of the same.
Because you cannot tell us that there was a drop in the number of vehicles that park in Kericho.
So
I don't know, Senator Cheriot, you are my neighbor. I travel to Kericho occasionally.
I don't need to inform you anything about Kericho. You know it very well.
Yes. So I think, let's be candid, there must be a cartel of people collecting that money, but doesn't reach the account of the county government of Kericho.
Yeah, Chair, Honorable Chair, Senior Council has indicated, because I'm under oath, I've said that that was a difficult moment for the county, but we have worked on several measures that have seen the revenue kept improving even along those streams after that year of review. And I think my senator also had indicated that even in Kericho, it was one of the matters he was very concerned about, digitalization of the revenue, and you moved ahead to have one of the best digital revenue collection system, which has seen even our revenue coming up.
Honorable Leader.
Yeah, this is it's a very serious issue because it concerns not do it Gerard Guest style. It's his way of doing. I prefer a different style. But on this one, I had to borrow Gerard Guest style of doing, which is you voice it publicly that there is a problem, that there was a problem with revenue. And it didn't come from me. It came from members of the public, that there were people in the county who are pocketing revenue. That's a plain sight of it. And that is why the figures bear it out. That when you see a drop as high as 50%, no science can explain it. It can only be explained by logic that that money came in, it just went to the wrong pocket. That's the only logical explanation. So let's not try to find any other story about it. The truth of the matter is that at this particular time, you can see line item by line item. What is of concern to me is as these figures kept on going down, because you know how you do, like KRA does, for example, they release quarterly reports. And that's how they're able to track and say, how comes the line for excise duty is not ticking in comparison to the other years? And they say, let's focus here, there is a problem. I believe the proper corrective measure should have been, even when you're manual, you should have noticed early and said, we are in the third quarter, yet we have collected 20 or 30% of what we normally collect in vehicle parking fees, so that you focus there administratively and say, even if our system has failed, let's see who are the people that are collecting this parking fee and where is that money going. The fact that that wasn't done leaves a very sad picture, because that's not what is expected of us. I hear now, Governor, you say there is an online system that has been collected. It would be important, perhaps, for the comfort of the committee and for the people of Kericho to confirm whether now, at least, if we were to do this, a third column now, this is 22-23 in comparison to 23-24. If we were to do 24-25 in comparison to 23-24, the financial year that ended about, it's now almost 4 or 5 months.
Yes.
So meaning that even the audit process has begun. Is there any indication to show that at least there is no drop in any of the columns?
In fact, in terms of comparison, we cannot compare where we had no system with where we have a system. It should be 23-24 and 24-25. No, 25-26. No, 23-24 and 24-25. Yes, and 24-25. Yeah, 22-23 and 22, where there are systems. Otherwise, if we compare where we have no system, that is 24-25. And the other one, then it will not.
Like Senator Lelegwe, then we come to Senator Chirot.
Chair, the governor has indicated, the director has indicated drop of several revenue streams to issuance of single permit to pair of several streams of revenue listed in the invoice. Maybe if the governor or the director can give us this invoice so that we can see those streams that are contained in the stream, which will account for the decrease of the individual streams and the increase of the single permit business permits. So I don't know if they have the invoice here. That will clearly indicate.
So let me ask the CC to say something.
Please be brief in your responses, because
I had saw that
I would have been happy
global.
that to be done by 6:30, the time the House usually rises. Yes. Senator Chirot.
Chair, and that is why the issue of manual was coming in. So I have had two excuses by the governor, 2 reasons. One, He is saying he had difficult period. He has not tell us what was happening. Number two, after experiencing difficult period, are there corrective measures he has put in place? And therefore, I agree with senior counsel that there was a cartel. And that is why they terminated digitization of revenue to go to manual. Because when you stealing by manual is easier because you surrender manually. You cannot trace. So could it be, and Governor, you know, as part of duty of care as the CEO, you knew very well that the contract was coming to an end for digitized revenue collection. Then you allow it to lapse. Then you go to manual. Then at least it comes back to you and the buck stops with you.
Chair, let me explain that one briefly, Chair. I indicated from the onset that at the time, and why, so that I'm not misconstrued that it was difficult as in running the year, is that on matters digitalization, the system lapsed. We prepared to raise an advert. Treasury, then within the same period, issued out a circular to county governments advising them that they are rolling out a unified revenue system for all the 47 counties. And out of that advisory as COG then, we were advised not to tender, and we stopped the process, awaiting the system from Treasury.
Chair.
Yes, go ahead, Senator Dul.
I think that process didn't pick off. Governor, we have actually other governors who have appeared before this committee. And the reason they are saying they have actually stopped the issue of national is because of the advice by Treasury that it's not going to pick off. And number two, you people as governors actually rejected the centralized system of revenue collection. So you cannot tell us, Governor, it's because of the advice of national government we stopped actually contracting for automation of your revenue. That's not true.
Honorable Chair, I was cut short before I finish.
No, I get the perceptions from the members, and I also hear you. In your explanation, part of your explanation is that there was an eclipse during that period where you are transitioning. An eclipse where things were done manually.
Yes.
And in that eclipse, it is possible that bad things could have happened.
Yes, that is why I explained the difficulty of that moment, because there was that short lapse before we had another digitalized system.
Yes, so there is that. Your officer has also given 4 or 5 different explanations for drop in revenue streams. The general conclusion is that this committee does not feel satisfied. Number one, that revenue that is being collected is being reported. Number two, that Kericho's revenue potential is being pursued aggressively, because I fail to agree that Kericho's gross county product is bigger than Homa Bay's. We are neighbors, but I accept that you are richer. You are a richer neighbor than we are. And yet, when you look at your collection, it is $1 billion plus. When you look at your collection, without the NHIF rebate, it is 500 million. There is a problem, and what the advice we want to give you, because we are going to write our report, but you as a governor, the fact that we are going stream by stream and you don't seem to have the explanations means that your officers are not updating you and you are not asking them. You are not keeping them on track. What your neighboring governor has done is to have revenue roundtables on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, where all the collectors of revenue report on a round table that in my area, this stream, this is the performance, quarter by quarter or month by month. I think that's what Senator Cheriot was also advising. So there's still much more to be done. Even if you automate and you have thieves around, they will still find ways of stealing.
Correct.
So, Auditor General, I know this is a matter that we would want to have a very, very comprehensive report on in the 2024-25 cycle. But EACC, Isn't it possible to find out whether some of these reasons, excuses we are being given are valid? Because as a committee, we are seeing that there could have been collection and not reporting. And that is theft. There's that one case that has been dealt with, but there could be others. How do we ensure that we provide that assurance to the market woman that whatever she pays gets to the coffers and can come back to build a market? Senator Morgan.
I wanted to say that we have been told administrative action have been taken, but we have not seen action against those who are criminally culpable. So maybe that's where EACC should come in for deterrence. You know, if you just steal money that is collected on behalf of the over-county and you are dismissed and you go scot-free, what will prevent another employee from hatching another scheme to also collect and disappear?
EACC?
Yes, Chair. As part of the interventions from EACC in our systems audit review of processes of counties, one of the recommendations that we make for sustainable collection of revenue, Chair, is automation of the services so that you can be able to track any amount that is paid both by the customer, the person who's paying, and by the county government themselves, Chair. So the EACC can also take part in doing this. We can do it in conjunction with their auditors or even on our own. Just have a systems review of how the county runs and make recommendations as we have done in other counties, Chair.
Have you done your risk assessment?
Chair.
Yes.
Sorry, I believe Patricia can do better than this. And I say that because I know the institution you work for, and I know you also, that you're a very thorough person. You're being asked a specific question, that an officer of Kericho County opened a pay bill registered to their name and collected public resources. What has been done specifically by EACC about that particular officer? The county has done the much they could, which is to fire him. But for you as a constitutionally mandated body that sets the standards on ethical practices by public officers in the country, this is something that you should have taken up at least for deterrence, just like Senator Mogeni is saying, so that others who may try to do such things will know that the law will catch up with you and you'll go to jail. Surely, Patricia, you cannot give us policy on that one. Give us a
Chair,
commitment on that specific
I think I was responding on the more general question that had been on the proposal by the chair. On the issue for the subject or the one that had been proposed for investigation by DCI, I think the proposal of the committee was that we get a status update on what has been done, because the initial recommendation was for investigation by the DCI. In the event that there's no progress that has been made on that front, we will take it up, as I had earlier indicated to the committee, for certain.
As we recommend for you to investigate.
No, they must not.
That's
but
your motto.
Yes, we can do it. So motto. We have other matters that are under investigation in Kericho County, Chair, that are active. This one can also be one
Maybe
of
you
them.
can give a commitment that you'll take this up for the comfort of the committee.
Nothing prevents you from
Yes,
taking
yes.
this one up.
We will take this one up, Chair.
Thank you.
And
Chair, maybe just on exit, and I know Patricia was my classmate and she is brilliant at it, and I have no doubt.
Order, members.
Secondly, I wanted to recommend.
Let me make this very clear.
Yes,
there is Patricia, the person, and there is the institution she represents. So let's make reference.
No, Patricia, the person.
Let's make reference to the institution. The person, I can see Cherarke and Cheriota fighting over who knows the other better.
For the record, Chair, I don't know where they met with Cherarge. For me, it was Christian Union. So you can see.
Chair, where I met Patricia was when we were praying over lunchtime at Christian Union prayers in Annex School of Law.
Lunchtime prayers.
It's a public place.
We know what Indians do at lunchtime.
So, Chair, let me recommend on the issue of revenue audit. The OAG told us, and I think Muriuki is here, that they are doing system audit. Since this integrity of revenue system of Kericho lacks integrity, would it be in order to recommend to OAG to do system audit of the revenue? Because there is inconsistency in terms of the integrity of the revenue process. Maybe the system audit can be done so that the OAG can give us.
Okay, OAG, then
We've
find a
already
way of-
done it.
Yeah.
Maybe you can only wait for our report.
Okay, so something is coming up.
Yeah.
So I think, Governor, in closing, because this is really important to the people of Kericho, issues of on-source revenue are dear to the hearts of people. It's money from the market woman. It's that crumpled 50 bob note. And if there's doubt around it, it even affects you. What do you say to the people of Kericho?
Chair, to the people of Kericho and this committee, Chair, this is that is why I say yes, we have had our share of flaws. But I'm also a broad governor. When I took over this county, the highest revenue which was ever collected from devolution was 422 million. In the year 22-23, I took revenue to 501 million. In the year 2023-24, I took revenue to 834,758,771. In the year 24-25, I have hit a mark of 1,072 million. So in all fairness, we have flaws, even as leaders, everybody, but hitting a billion from what was really 300 million.
Is it mostly on hospital?
Even your account also combined revenue of hospitals and the other. That's why
asking,
budget
that is not
can you address the chair?
Address the
chair.
There are questions which
order, Governor.
Yeah, I'm asking a very normal question anybody would ask. Is this part of hospital revenue? Or is it outside revenue?
You see, the opportunity I gave you, Governor, was not to make a political statement. The opportunity was, from this conversation, it has emerged that revenue is dropping for various reasons. And I just thought that you needed to give the people of Kericho an assurance that their money has not been stolen. But you have gone into a campaign promise spree. So if you cannot provide that assurance that their money is safe, then we can conclude their money is not safe, then we move on.
Thank you, Chair. Like I said, as we do budget estimates, all the revenue streams are placed together in the budget estimates, and we put them together in on-source revenue as one collective pot of revenue. However, Chairman, I want to commit that in those particular streams that we have witnessed a decline, I commit to the people of Kericho that we will be seeing an upward trajectory of the same, and we'll be able to optimize fully what we have equally received. And thank you for the guidance. And also, I've learned one lesson from you today, Chair, which I'll implement from your county, because the work of Senate also is to protect evolution while at the same time share best practices. And what I've taken home today is that Governor Wanga have roundtable meetings just for revenue. And I think, Chair, that one for me is something very strong that I'll also go and implement. And
I wish you would have said that anyone caught stealing revenue will be dealt with.
Yes. Just like we dismissed one already, we have already dismissed one as an example. Mr. Chesimetu stole revenue. We dismissed him immediately, and we are waiting for DCIE to prosecute him. And it's also my warning here, because, you know, government is a very large system and organ. And we want to appeal to all the officers, not only Kericho County government, even national government, that be satisfied and contented to your salary. Because when you are found by the law, you won't escape it.
Okay, members, in the time remaining, allow us, order members.
On the issue of revenue.
We have three substantive issues that we must deal with.
Yes.
Pending bills, flagship projects, and this issue of reallocation of development to recurrent. Yeah. Honorable members, we have whipped the revenue horse properly.
Can I recommend
Can we go to the
maybe
others?
you didn't get what you were saying.
Yes.
In fact, which we advised Nairobi was to have revenue boards where the authority is created to run in terms of management. It's not round table discussion under Chai and Mandazi. And secondly, it is important that as the governor talks about rise in revenue, it is worrying when 80% of that revenue comes from the hospital. It means people are getting more sick, which is not good.
I think we have made those observations. Let's go to pending bills. No. I am not reopening that conversation unless you want us to be here up to 8 o'clock. On pending bills, because there's a relationship between your OSR and pending bills. Without going to the 4 or 5 pages before us here, could you tell us, Governor, at the moment, how much do you owe contractors and suppliers in Kericho? Just give us a headline figure, and if the number is high, the strategies you're putting in place to ensure that suppliers are paid. I know that there are many accounting issues in this report on pending bills, but let's first deal with the headline. In fact, it would be easy because you are just, right now you're in the process of doing the 24-25 audit. So then your CEC should be familiar with those numbers.
Thank you, Chair. We have a pending application of 631 million. And 631 million, but also,
sorry, 6 or 7?
631 million.
631 million.
And then we have also some of the pending bills that has been ongoing verifications. So in total, because there's a committee working on verification now, is a total of 1.4 billion.
1.4 billion?
Yes.
So what's the difference between 631 and 1.4? That 800 million?
That's around 800 million.
So this 800 million is being verified?
It transists from the previous years, not this time, because contractors comes and say, 2016 I did this job, I wasn't paid. And when I did this job the year 2017, there is no documentations. So it calls in then to visit the site, see if the work was really done or not. But for the huge number that were presented to us, we've been able to pay, Honorable Chairman.
So you see, this is why you decided to be governor, and Aaron decided to be a senator. So that you're a CEO who can make the hard decisions.
Yeah.
You have 800 million worth of bills, which you cannot confirm whether the work was done. Are you going to keep it there as a liability forever?
No, Chair. That is why, Chairman, last week in cabinet meeting, I directed, we have recruited a new internal audit team, a very efficient professionals, and the committee. And so I instructed and directed them to use 2 weeks to verify, because we don't want a supplier.
That's an ad hoc committee?
Yes.
It's not an external...
Not an external committee. This is an internal committee.
Internal ad hoc committee?
Yes. To do the proper verification on documentations, visit sites, then provide this work, because we don't want also a contractor to suffer. Because if, for example, 2017, by word of mouth, a contractor was asked to go and do work, then he invests this money in that specific work, it would be wrong for us as a government to punish that particular contractor. And so what we have been doing is to do proper verifications, then we continue with the payment process.
I know our recommendation was for you to come up with a payment plan, which was supposed to be filed with the controller of budget, because that was a resolution of the House. I think you remember the Ledama motion.
Yeah, we have done the report and the aging analysis of it.
I think the finance committee, you sit in finance? Who sits in finance and budget? I know finance and budget has been doing some interrogations and some follow-ups on counties. So for me, and the Senator Cheriot will weigh in on this, for me, having 800 million or 10% of your annual budget as debt older than 3 years is not right, because it might be taken as politicization of that process, that these were service providers of the past government, and so we are not going to pay them. And it is only service providers contracted by us that is going to be paid. I think this is a matter that requires urgency, And it's a matter that is affecting our region. Sometimes you don't see cash flow because people who do jobs in county governments are not getting paid.
I agree, Chair.
So the economy looks like it is stagnating.
I agree, Chair.
I don't know, Senator, because in my county, service providers have petitioned the Senate, and so there's some formal inquiry going on. I don't know whether this is a very big problem in Kericho.
Yeah, it's quite a problem. I am comfortable with the route that the executive has taken. The only problem I have is governor hasn't indicated a timeline, because we need to bring this matter to a closure.
Yeah.
We've had this problem for far too long.
Yeah.
Some of these people most of them actually are young people, people who are trying out business for the first time. And the bigger problem which I see, not just in Kericho, but in many of our county governments, and which is something that I'd wish we'd find a way of addressing, is that nobody today, and I say this a lot of times on the floor of the House, nobody in their right mind attempts to do business with counties, which is not a good thing. Because at the end of the day, you do business with counties at the very high risk of never being paid, like so many others. You join a long queue. This is something that we need to address. We have since I don't think we've completed that PFM amendment that you are doing, Senator Kajwang. You know, part of the growth of pending bills came from overestimation of on-source revenue. You budget, you procure, and you have no way of paying. We have since sealed that loophole via an amendment, I think, which will be with the Assembly and should be law before the next budget cycle. But before we get there, if Governor can give us a comfort of when you intend to close this so that we know this is a prioritization that you want to give, where we can ascertain that actual work was done, but a contractor was not paid. We need to clear those, because this is an attempt that governments have made, including national government, with no clear plan about it yet. It's very unfair. You know, back in the day, people used to trust government, both national and county, and they'd say if you do business with them, you're assured of being paid. In fact, people used to fear trading with private players. As is the case today, the one character you cannot trust is anything called government, which ought not to be the case. So I'd get comfort, Chair, if Governor can give us a proper roadmap with dates and timelines, so that at least those people who did this work, those whose work can be verified, can sit knowing that we have factored this in the budget, we need to clear it. My 800 million is not a figure you can tick off one budget cycle, but at least maybe 2 or 3, you're able to clean it up and ensure that you don't continue to incur them. Lastly, Chair, because you've just closed the financial year 24-25, it will be important also to check and maybe inform this committee whether there was growth on your pending bills in that financial year over and above these aging ones. Because if at least you succeeded to close it and not have it continue to pile up, it is a good record of the work that you're doing. Otherwise, if over and above what you had as historical pending bills, you're continuing then soon it might get to a point where in a financial year, we'll say, let's not do anything, let's just pay the people whose money we owe.
Maybe a follow-up to what Senator Kericho is saying. You know, Governor, you've mentioned 1.4 billion, but in these documents, I can't see 1.4 billion. Where did you get this 1.4 billion from? Is it the pending bills as at June 2025, June 30th? And so, is it possible to conclude that the pending bills are increasing? Because as at 30th June 2024, we had 1.14 billion. Now, as at 30th June 2025, we have 1.4 billion, an increment of about 300 million. So, is it that the pending bills are increasing? And if so, why? And then number 2, is it possible to disaggregate this 1.4 billion into money owed to employees, that is staff payables, and then contractors? Is it possible to get that disaggregation?
Just 1 second there. CC Rope, in your last communication to the county assembly, because you know the beauty with nowadays is that people follow the things that are happening. I've just seen somebody who sent me one of the last reports that you gave to the county assembly, where they place, you have actually said in your letter, and I'll share with you, Chair, later, is that based on your findings, the state has, as of 11th November 2025, the county treasury has just settled an amount of 190 million out of a, no, that's not the part that I wanted to read. There's a part where you have stated the exact amount. Yeah. The Department of Finance and Economic Planning plans to settle pending bills totaling 2.213 billion Kenya shillings in the financial year 2025-2026. So, which is which? Because you gave, in this letter to the county assembly, the figure you are setting is 2.2. The figure now being placed before the committee is 1.4.
Yeah, I think that was including commitments, which we later on found that they had not been supported. So we have calmed down. We withdrew that statement actually from the floor of the House.
Well, there's a further letter you've done?
Yes, we withdrew, and we are appearing very soon with a real report that is well done.
But my friend Rob, 2 weeks is such a short time to knock off.
I didn't want
800 million.
I didn't want to go to rush and take figures that are not authentic. So I have engaged the internal audit team to look into this and give me a proper report.
Are you
that I will
saying
table.
you didn't take an authentic report to the assembly? I mean, an assembly has same legal status as the Senate.
You see, there were these issues of commitments, which I said, let me look into this. What were they? And that is why I told them, let's withdraw this report and we go and look into that.
Who made the commitments?
You know, there were, you know, people are saying, even the contractors themselves went there and said, these are unsupported, these are supported. So I said, let me look into all this and ascertain which one of these are genuine. And that is why I have mandated the internal audit team to work on these documents, department by department, so that the report that I will give to the assembly very soon. I was actually to appear before the assembly on Wednesday this week.
Do you have a time frame when you intend to conclude this
in 2 weeks'
exercise?
time. In the next 2 weeks, I have even written to them that in the next 2 weeks I'll be there. Yeah.
Just a quick one, Chair. You remember after 2022, and of course coming at the decision of Mumbi, Justice Mumbi in Kitale High Court, I had governors trying to explain about commitments, payment, we want to do this and this. Is there a report that has been done, Governor, by either your committee or cabinet that you can table before this committee and tell us these are eligible pending bills, these are eligible pending bills, this is the payment plan? Is there a report to that effect?
Honorable Chair, it is for this reason that, like I said, we discussed with Treasury and at Cabinet and say that let's have a team, give them 2 weeks to clean and care us what is actual. So that one, we protect the supplier and the contractor, and number two, we also have value for money on what has been on the ground. And in 2 weeks' time, we have that accurate report with us.
So the report, maybe Chair, sorry, with your indulgence, so the report is not ready.
What we had was a preliminary, you know, what departments has pulled together.
Governor, I wish you would be precise. You are a linguist. You should just say if it is there or not. Not there.
Now,
Let's leave it
where
there.
the concern comes in is that under the accrual basis, Auditor General, what is the level of responsibility required of the entity when it comes to accounts payable?
Thank you, Chair. Previously, we've been having payables, which are not really payables because commitments cannot be payable. So we only need payables, maybe if it's constructions, work which has been certified but not paid. But alternatively, the governments can circulate.
No, sorry, George. In terms of reporting, you see
Yes.
they've been reporting just appending some schedule here. In terms of reporting from cash to accrual,
Yes.
are we treating accounts payables differently?
Yes, because previously commitments were being treated as payables, but as for now, we don't do it.
Was this a requirement in the first year of transition?
Yes.
So in this year,
maybe I can add that the governments were supposed to come up with the transition committees, which were, among other verifications to be done, was to confirm these pending bills so that they have them in the opening statement. I think maybe they've not done it. That's why still we can have 1.4, 2.2.
Yeah, because what I'm trying to drive at is that you cannot not know under the accrual basis, Mheshimiwa CC. It's not like in the olden days where you could have a provisional amount. Under accrual, you need to be more precise. So you cannot be in this space where Senator Cherargei is asking, for specific details and you don't know. Patrick.
Chair, maybe I can also add that in this year's reporting, entities will be required to disclose the bills on the face of the financial statement, not just as an extra to the financial statement. So they need more clarity. They need to certify the bills before they include them on the face of the financial statement.
So they don't have the luxury of extending the work of this ad hoc committee. It has to be within those 2 weeks that you're talking about. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll end up with a very bad report. We'll come back here in January, February, and we'll be fighting over this.
Correct.
So I think the other related thing.
So maybe one last thing, Chair, is that even as we work on that one, we having a plan also that once we get it, we will balance and go, I know over the past, there has been issues of like selective payment and all that. But our commitment as administration is that we go as per the aging pending bills once we verify, so that if there's a pending bill of 2017, 2016, we give priority to those ones, even as we also balance the payment of pending bills and implementation of ongoing works. Thank you.
Now, maybe Chair, the governor can comment on the staff payables, because it's important. People are retiring, their money has not gone to the retirement schemes. Do you have any such money here being owed by the staff?
Thank you, Senator Fisher. Let me ask the director here to comment on that one. He's asking those who are retiring, the payables of those who are retiring.
No, not just the retirees. There's, the staff payables, statutory deductions. Be they payee, be they pension schemes, be they circles and subscriptions.
Chair, I can confirm authoritatively that Kericho we are paying. We submit on time what is required of us, the deductions and everything that is required. And at the same time, we are one of the few counties that by 28th of the month, we have paid our staff, Chair.
Now, there was a question on, and I want to tie this with another matter in this report so that we can make some progress. The Auditor General has flagged your expenditure on compensation of employees at 50% against a requirement of 35%. When I look at...
which bill?
Sorry?
Is that the wage bill?
Yes, the wage bill. The wage bill is at 50%. It's a substantive matter here. I'm just conscious of the time, so I want us to move a little bit fast. OAG, you can cite the relevant, because I wanted us to tie these two.
I've got it in Chair, and we have the maybe.
Is it at 50%?
Yeah, Chair. When at the time of reporting, we were at 50%.
Yes.
And Chair, one of the things that had necessitated that was, of course, the on-source revenue at that time, because it was working vis-a-vis that. But we had also placed all our ECD teachers, the 1,200 of them, under permanent and pensionable basis. And it actually, raised the wage bill. And further, at that point of time, we also confirmed the healthcare workers, 500 of them, on permanent and pensionable terms, those who have been serving for a decade in the county without confirmation. Like the ECD teachers, from 2013, they were called caregivers. And I thought that...
No, I think that makes sense. So approximately how much did that add to your Which
It goes to 42%. So what we have is 42%.
no. In terms of absolute figures, how many millions did that add to?
I don't have the absolute figure with me, Chair.
Someone should have that. Because it says doctors, CBA, whatever, was 50 million.
Yeah.
ECD was 100
I don't
million.
know. Chair,
So that you are able to see.
Yeah, when we have the head of public service,
story.
but if we have the figures. Do we have the figures?
No. Someone must have those numbers.
Trying to have the head of public service if he has the figures. You have them.
Someone must have those numbers. The governor can say we recruited ECD teachers. Now, how many were they? And what does that cost?
1,200.
1,200.
1134 rather, yeah.
1134.
Yeah.
So 1134, someone in your team should be able to say that this brought about an additional 50 million on our paper. Because the story must be supported by numbers.
Planning, Before you do that, you execute it. You must
Chairman,
plan.
as you move, the pressure decreases.
In this committee, we are quantitative.
Okay.
More than qualitative.
If you give us 7 days, we can file that, Chair.
Because your wage bill grew by 400 million in 1 year.
We can file it
So
by
is that
tomorrow,
the
Chair.
full explanation, or you also brought in what are called sangueñas in neighboring
No,
countries?
Chair, I can confirm that we don't have
People who
such.
carry the throne of the governor and beat up the senator if the senator is not singing his praises.
No, we don't have, Chair. Actually, we just promoted them. Actually, since I came in, Chair, I've only employed 30 people. That is the extension of resources.
So this 400 million can be accounted for by the two categories that you have talked about?
Yes, because now we raise a salary. For example, a certificate teacher was earning 7,000. And in the SRC agreed with COG, he's supposed to earn 25,000. And so we moved from 7,000 to 25,000 based on the SRC guidelines. Yes.
You see, Governor, and maybe this is also just for you to ask some questions. If you look at your financial statement, because that percentage is based on revenue as a base. Yeah. So in this financial year, your total receipts was 6.3 billion.
Yeah.
In prior year, it was 6.6 billion. If the base has changed, then the percentages, cannot be like for like. The question would be, how come there was a 600 million drop in your transfers from CRF from prior year? Was it a decision of the Senate? Was there a revenue sharing formula that disfavored Kericho? Because the prior year you had 6.5 billion, and this year you had 5.9 billion.
Maybe I can ask the director here to respond, Chair.
Yeah?
Let me ask the director to respond, yeah?
Yeah, 600 million less. That's
Honorable
10%
Chair,
less.
This financial year under review, we did not receive the full allocation.
Oh, sorry,
We did not receive the full allocation of the equitable share during this financial year. The county government did not receive 536 million.
The one under review?
536 million.
Which financial year?
2023, 2024.
It was late exchequer disbursement, isn't it? Yeah. So if we didn't account...
It was less by 1 month's allocation.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
so the subsequent year must...
But there's always ukarabati, those 15 days when the treasury allows you to do the accounting.
Honorable Chair, this is the year which we did not receive the June allocation. And this allocation came in July, the following financial year.
For all the
That is
counties?
why,
For all the counties?
All the counties.
So, OAG, was this problem global?
There was a delay. I think there was restructuring of expenditure during that time.
Okay, but eventually the money came.
We received the money in July 2025, and it was rebudgeted in the year which just ended. Budget.
25, I think.
You received it in July
2024.
In July, yes, in July 2024. Yes.
So if you would have received the full amount, your percentage would have gone
Yes,
lower.
definitely. This is the denominator is the total revenue.
Because that is the advice you would have given your governor. He
less by
he has struggled to give a lot of explanation, but the thing is, the base changed by 500 million.
Yes.
So if the 500 million came, what would be your percentage?
It should be slightly lower than the 50%.
But slightly ahead of the 35%.
Still over the 35%.
Auditor General, maybe in this current year review, please make sure that where there is such a great growth, like 20% in an expenditure line, you're able to query and give us the assurance that they are not doing funny recruitment. Because even as we come to a close with the projects, you are not going to be able to do much, Governor.
Yeah, agreed.
Because if I look at your county, with assuming you had 6.3 billion, half of it is going to salaries. You have only 3.1 billion remaining. Half a billion is going to the assembly. You have only 2.7 billion remaining. 700 million is going into operations. You have only 2 billion at hand to do anything. Out of that 2 billion, already 2.213 is pending bills. What are you going to achieve as a county?
I agree, Chair.
So, I mean, these are serious structural problem that you must address. I've seen you and the Senator doing, joint meetings around this. And Senator, I hope these are some of the things you discuss.
During the Senate oversight meeting, this is something that we brought to fore, and I took the trouble to explain. Part of the reason I was explaining, Governor, is to also help you out of the pressure of being asked by a few people that they want employment. It was simply for people to know that what we are doing is that we are employing 4,000 people to consume 50% of our shareable revenue. That cannot continue to obtain. If it continues to obtain, then it means in one village, one individual is actually taking everything on behalf of that particular village. Instead of a road, a dispensary, or an ECD center that is supposed to be built, one individual is cutting it away in form of salary. And what is of concern to me, though, Governor, is that you need to find a redemption mechanism. You must roll back to the mandatory 35. 50 is almost one of those that are on the extreme highs. And we must have a redundancy plan of some sort eventually if we aim to achieve any meaningful development. Otherwise, because now most of these are young people, the ECD teachers, the health workers, these are people that will be with the county for the next 20 or so years. So you can't think about their retirement, you can't think about death or any of these things that will bring it down. There must be a better plan to think about it, and that's a conversation which you must be able to face, unfortunately, if meaningful development is to be realized, as the Chair is advising.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe just my senator has raised something very important, and one of the things, Chair, is that of course when we received the 5.6 million, the CC Public Service informed me that the revenue then the percentage is 42%, and however it is still exceeding 35% is required by law. Now, Honorable Chair, Kericho County is unique in the sense that it forms what was then called the Kipsigis Municipal Council, which was Bomet and Kericho. So at the advent of devolution, all the staff that were working for the defunct Kipsigis Municipal Council, all of them were transferred to Kericho County government. And as we address this, and we have agreed with Mheshimiwa Senator Aaron, that we're not going to be doing any replacement because we have acquired a number this year and next year that are exiting service, because most of them are acquired aging population that used to work in the defunct municipal council. And my commitment is that we will be working hard to ensure that unless for critical services, we don't do much replacement so that we bring down our wage bill to 35%.
Okay, there was an audit query here where we had made a recommendation where you had reallocated money from development to recurrent. And that was an amount of 127 million without seeking the authority of the county assembly as required in county PFM, county government's regulation, and the PFM Act. Non-compliance with the requirements for reallocation of development appropriations. I think that is under the lawfulness section. Page 9. 127 million was transferred from development to recurrent, contrary to section 152(2) of PFM. And we observed that you did not provide documents to the Auditor General. You did not provide evidence that you had tabled a bill in the County Assembly to seek reallocation, and therefore you are in breach of the law. Even though we had recommended that the auditor does a further review, what is your position on this? Because our view is that you violated the law grossly by doing unauthorized reallocations.
Let me ask the director to respond.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. This is to clarify that there are some donor-funded projects which are budgeted under development votes, which are recurrent in nature. And this expenditure is to facilitate the rollout of development projects from these donor-funded projects. For example, for training and capacity building, for example, it will fall under recurrent, but in the budget line, it is budgeted for in development. And since we process these payments in IFMIS, these economic items which we charge are in development votes.
Mr. Fernandez,
Yes.
you have, I think your explanation here is quite readable. The question is this. The law does not bar reallocation, but it provides a process for reallocation. So with this nice explanation that you have, what stops you or what stopped you from going to the County Assembly to explain that we capitalize this budget, but due to the nature of the grant, there are operational aspects, and therefore give us the authority to spend as
Thank
such?
you.
No, and
Honorable
even,
Chair.
even further, Chair, that is one mistake. The second, which is more grave, is that during the audit process now, at least you should have provided them the documentation to support the position that you're prosecuting, to say, okay, we are sorry, that wasn't done, but this is the justification why we considered, because it's the exact basis why you're being fingered by the Auditor General.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
And maybe to OAG, there is always Conditional Allocations Act. What is the fate of donor funded? I thought it is managed independently.
Yeah, so
how does it?
let Fernandez first deal, and then we come to OAG.
Honorable Chair, some of these donor-funded projects, we are required to open special purpose accounts with the central bank. For you to make payment from that account, which is in development, you have to charge that economic item in the budget. And therefore, we do not have, if we are to reallocate, it means then we appropriate in recurrent line item. But as I said earlier, mostly these are donor-funded projects.
But Chair,
And
isn't
they are
it possible during the time of budgeting, you disaggregate the components in that donor-funded project in capital and recurrent? Isn't it possible? Or is it impossible to do that?
Honorable Chair, in the government, the Standard Charter of Accounts, we have the economic items, and for these donor-funded projects, there is a line item which is budgeted for under transfers, and that line item we're required to reflect in the appropriation as a standalone figure. If we are to disaggregate, for example, you have to bring in the training component to recurrent, and probably take the the capital items to development. But when it comes to payment, it will pose a challenge because you have to pay from one special purpose account.
You see, as a practitioner, you see trees as we see the forest. Is it your argument that this scenario did not require an approval by the Assembly?
Honorable Chair, this is at the budgeting stage. This these expenses are budgeted for in development vote. And during the budget implementation, we have to charge these line items in development vote.
Now, you see, I said you speak trees, we speak forest. The Auditor General is saying you reallocated 127 million from development to recurrent without approval.
Yes.
You have given us the number of trees in the forest. Now, what then is a conclusion? Do you disagree with the Auditor General that this 127 million did not warrant Assembly consideration? Let's start from there.
Honorable Chair, at the budget marking process, we
No. Don't go too far back. Is it your view that the Auditor General or OAG's recommendation of seeking Assembly approval was not, should not apply here?
These are standalone line items, and we can prove even in the appropriation that this development, these funds were budgeted for in development. And this appropriation was passed at the point of the appropriation in the original estimates. And we also had a supplementary budget. And these items...
The budget was placed in development.
Yes.
The expenditure?
Honorable Chair, this is...
What was charged?
This is cash basis.
Yes.
In 2023-2024, we were reporting under cash basis. And having made payments, and we were reporting the actual expenditure, the actual payments that were made from these special purpose accounts, we had to report that under development, since the budget was in development watch.
So what are you saying? Because the Auditor General, is this explaining what you came across or is explaining his own things?
Thank you, Chair. The explanation is giving is valid for donor funding. But the situation here we have is an expenditure which is not related to that donor funding. That's why we were saying it's an expenditure which has been reallocated. For example, using that vote to pay per diem for you coming to Senate. That's an example I've given. So it's not related to the donor funding. That's why we queried the expenditure.
In fact, you know why the auditor is helping the situation is if you had provided this documentation during audit process, it will be impossible to explain what you're trying to tell us, Fernandez. However, given that that wasn't done, it is impossible now to establish what was it exactly that you reallocated. And because there is no documentation provided up to this point, we cannot tell whether you paid per diem, you used it to pay salaries, whatever you did with it. Which is hence the question, why is it not possible to establish those documentation up to this point?
Yeah, and if it was to hold the explanation you're giving, then you should have demonstrated that this 127 million, this is how the budget was captured, whichever accounts that were used to appropriate, and this is how the expenditure was also applied. So where we are, the OAG says that your explanation is valid for a different case.
Which is not this one.
Which is not this one.
And the most worrying thing is that you are responding on behalf of the governor who is on oath. So where do you place the governor? Because these are not projects which are donor funded in nature.
So, Governor, these are the things that inflame the county assembly. When they hear that you spent without the approval. And it is your opportunity to absolve yourself, but you are not making it any better or any easier. Did you spend without approval of the county assembly?
From the records that we have, and that is what Director has indicated, is that basically this was donor money, and already it was budgeted in the budget under that item. And Chair, maybe if you give us some more 1 week, we can do proper response to the same.
Unfortunately, the audit, the year is ending in that 1 week. So you might not have that luxury of time. Auditor, is it your position that they spent without the approval of the Assembly?
Yes.
So then we'll just need to go back to the consequences, because I believe it is listed as an offense. Yeah.
The PMF Act is very clear on reallocation of money. So we apply the legal consequence. And maybe governor should tell us, and then it points that the governor does not respect the work of the county assembly.
You see, that's
Governor,
a
what
risk
do you have to say?
that the Assembly might then find some meat to advance whatever whatever disagreement you may have with them. Because how are you spending without their approval?
And these are constitutional institutions.
Yeah.
From what the director said, this was approved by the Assembly at the time. And I've requested that you give us a week to do proper response to the same, attached with the budgets and all that.
Honorable members,
I can see where Cherargei is heading is to heighten the excitement of disagreements in the county, but the Lord
Chair,
has
that
out.
is totally irrelevant to this conversation. How am I heightening excitement in county assembly?
I will
I'm not
allow the
speaker.
two of you to have a conversation after this meeting.
But Chair, you should be very careful not to create perception in Kericho. My good neighbors.
No, I think you're right.
He should
Senator.
weigh his words. He's a governor. He's not a villager
so
who
Governor,
consumes chrome somewhere.
it is already 7 o'clock. So
When the governor says, Chair, I have an issue, Chair, which is very serious. The nickname that they gave me is Dr. Grom, which means a very cheap liquor. And the senator is referring to confirm in a serious committee that I consume chrome, which has been used by my enemies.
Why are you making us aware of things we didn't know? Surely, you are revealing too much information.
Information, Chair, which I didn't even say.
Okay, fine. Let's come back. I'm getting tempted not to call you Dr. Chrome now. Now that I know. But let's come back, please. Oh, members, we need to finish this interrogation.
Reform, the Chrome is an equalizer. It makes the one of JD and the one of Pusa at the same table because there is a hangover.
Chair, you can see I've always been right. So you can see.
Lakini tuharakishe, hii ni masaa ya Chrome. Yeah.
It's late by 1 hour or 2 hours.
So OAG, on this matter, please, again, it's unresolved. Query it, and if you reach the same conclusion, in the next audit, we will agree with you, and we will propose that sanctions be taken. Finally, just ticking off flagship projects, just ticking them off without too much detail, just to know where we are on the various projects. And I think they start from the theatre at Ainamoi Health Center, contracted at a sum of 14 million. The project had stalled and the contractor was not on site. This one, Governor, without too many stories, the theatre at Ainamoi Health Center, to date, is it equipped and complete?
Chair, we are at 98%. And in the next, at most 2 weeks, we should be done with this project.
Can an operation go on there?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes, it can. In fact, we had actually even referred, when we had a temporary closure of a referral, we had referred some of our patients to that facility.
OAG, is this something you can keep in view? Or in your view, it's closed?
Thank you, Chair. When we reviewed this project, it still stalled at that level. It was.
Okay, so keep it in view. The modern market at Sondu?
Modern market at Sondu, we are at around 85. Chair, after I gave, we've given warning letters to the contractor, and we have managed to get him back on site. And as of last week, we are doing close to 85% on the same. And we had challenges because of the constant bickering which was at Sondu. The contractor had tend to move away from the site. But with the broad-based government, the contractor is back to work.
Now, you see, this is what makes counties look bad, because the national government is constructing markets at super speed. And a county government, since 2019, cannot complete a 52 million market. I mean, all of us, we have seen markets mushrooming in our counties.
Yes.
Within 1 year, 2 years, a market is done. Watasema hii ya national government imeisha, hii ya county imekwama sababu wamekula. So
Chairman, it is not very good taste, Chairman, that you are advocating the national government should be building markets, which is a devolved function. And we are in Senate, Chairman.
No. Well, Governor, you didn't understand what the chair is saying. In fact, the chair is making your case. He's saying, when he goes to Kericho, for example, you know, even last week on the floor I said this, that I'll be trying to convince my colleagues in the assembly that under the affordable housing AHP funds, that we allow counties to manage the funds for markets. But then, when I push that argument, the members of the National Assembly will tell me, go to Sondu and look at the market that the county has been building for the last 10 years. So that's what the chair is reminding you, that because of this kind of performance, it makes our case very difficult as Senate to advocate for such funds to be transferred to counties, because we'll be told they will never complete them.
I agree, Aaron.
Chair, maybe the other thing that we'll ask is, if the contract sum was 128 million in 2019, has that sum changed?
No.
What is the current sum?
No. With the agreement with the contractor, after we sat in a tribunal, he has confirmed that there is no change of contract and is delivering the work before the end of the year.
At 128 million?
At that same price.
Chair, can I propose that when we are doing the circuit of Nyanza and Rift Valley, we visit this?
Yes. Yes.
Because if the OAG insists it's still 78%.
It's easy to do. Nyamira, Kericho, Homa Bay, that circuit.
Nandi, the circuit, and even Vihiga, that circuit.
Correct.
So that we cite this project.
So, ESCC, on this, is there any inquiry on the Sondu market, or is it just a project management issue?
There's no active inquiry on this issue, Chair.
So we allow this, we keep this in view, but also noting that it has taken too long from 2019.
As you allow this to be given view, as the OAG, I know they are concluding, they have tabled their reports by that 1st December. We should also find out from where Senator Maruma left that is the contractor, you know, the price of cement has changed, price of steel has changed, there is inflation. So we should be told, is this 128 million? Has there been any variation?
We have not received any request for variation on the same.
Up to today?
Up to date.
So since it's work...
The other question would be, the money paid is 78%, was 100 million divided by 128. But are the works, measured works done? 78%?
I've said it's now going to more than 85% of the work done.
Okay. So let's allow the Auditor General to report on this in the next cycle. Kapkures Water Supply Project.
Chair, I'm very proud. Next week I'll be launching this water project commissioning at a place called Sereng, because we are done, dusted, and we have finished the project.
Auditor, does that align with your findings? Auditor, the Kapkures.
Thank you, Chair. We had visited this project around May, and nothing was going on. As for now, we don't know the position. But by May, nothing was going on.
I invite you next week for the commissioning.
So Auditor, again, keep that in view. Let it not disappear from your audit report. I think there was an issue of governor and deputy governor's houses.
Yeah, thank you. We have made progress.
You have ignored the invitation of the governor. Can the senator go on our behalf and give us feedback?
We cannot accept those kind of invitations. Those are almost invitations to treat. So we'll allow the Auditor General to give us a report. Governor and deputy governors' houses.
We are making good progress here. We had issues of location and site, but I'm happy with the expansion of town that already We have earmarked space, so we have made progress. We've got the land, and we hope to appropriate in the next budget, Honorable Chair.
You have not started at all?
Yeah, with the land was a problem, but now we've got the land.
But supplementary is coming up. Have you appropriated on this supplementary?
No, we haven't even done supplementary
It's up
yet.
to next financial.
Governor, why would land be a problem in a county like Kericho?
Yes?
Why would land be a problem?
Chair, it's not that the land is a problem, but you know we have the town expansion matrix that designate that we are going to have a state launch here, we have governor's residence here, we have these buildings here and there. So we had problems before with the squatters, but I'm happy now that we have resolved the matter. I think Aaron has been on top of it, and I want to thank my senator. Nixon will be coming to do the title deeds, and we've done it. In fact, we got the land now.
So it's work in progress.
It's work in progress.
No, I don't know what the auditor was querying really, because
Did you know which are
there were no funds allocated for this project. And why did you query it? What were you querying? Because no funds were allocated. Was it from the CADB, from ADP?
Okay, this is on compliance of, oh sorry, Chair, through Chair. This was an issue on compliance of laws, because the SRC had authorized that the governors should have their own residences. So that is the basis of this query.
Chair, rising on that basis, Governor, are you being paid by the county government the rent for, and your deputy?
No, not at all.
You have not been paid for.
So you have been to my home, Jesingoro. That is my private residence. Why else? And you have been there. I've given you lunch there, you have taken tea, and you know it's my private home.
Chair.
You see, we recently passed a conflict of interest law.
And I saw that for him,
Chair, I was just asking because under
on the right side, Chair. On the right side was my neighbor.
Chair, you know, and the governor should be very careful because there is what we call Chesingoro Express. The point I'm trying to make, Chair, is
Senator
Chair, the point I'm trying to make
seems to know a lot of Kericho politics.
Order, Governor.
The SRC, I'm asking in good faith because under SRC governor, you must be given rent for your deputy, the speaker. So that is just clarity I needed, because if this was being queried and you have not appropriated funds, you know, you are a government officer, you are state officers, even all state officers are given a house allowance. That was my only concern, Chair.
Thank you. We are not sure.
So then, since the senator is aware of the issues around land and all this, we can allow the OAG to carry that. County aggregation and industrial park, what is the status?
I thought we had agreed on generic. Yeah, because it is similar in most of these.
Not aware, that's why I was asking. Maybe you can just help me appreciate.
I think if you look at this issue of KIPES, all counties have an issue. I thought we had borrowed a way of handling with Chair. Maybe you can guide.
That was a generic recommendation, but it would be useful for us to hear from the governor the specific issues in Kericho. And you know, we have asked some governors whether they think this was a well-conceived plan, and there have been various responses from different governors.
Yeah, Chair, we did our budgetary, you know, the agreement was that we do 250 million from the county government and 250 million from the national government. We've done our 250 million, and the progress has been ongoing very well, and we are yet to receive the other 250 million from the national government. But if you allow my honest view, I think this probably was not one of those well-guided things within COG and its implementation, because we've done the KIPES, and where is the production for the same? So my biggest worry, yes, we'll complete these things in some point of time, but they may end up being moribund because there was no plan. It was a bastard rush to do it in the 47 counties, and yes, probably that could be the danger we may end up.
You are a government. Why didn't you say no if you think it's not viable? Because you are the one who has budgeted 250 million, and you are telling us you think it's not viable.
I'm saying, I'm not denying that we all have liability on the same, and I take also responsibility. But you know,
prudent expenditure of public resources. You are explaining to us.
I'm just saying, perhaps senior, are more good planning of the same, because yes, these are very important instruments, but a more good planning to tie with other departments like agriculture for proper production, so that. Yeah.
I'm asking you because there are governors who said no. Is it Makwedi?
That's it.
Yeah. So when you tell us now, imagine you have pumped in 250 million, You're waiting for another 250 million from national government. And you're telling us the way the project was conceived may not bring any value.
In Kericho, we have already walked our way and we're pushing on production.
What I'm saying, why didn't you say no? Why are you just burying 250 million public money?
I can confirm that we have worked on a plan so that there will not be moribund. But I'm just saying in my...
You are blowing hot and cold now.
Yeah.
You're blowing hot and cold. You're saying you don't think it will have any value.
Of course, when you could assess at that time.
Of Kericho, you want to be given another 250 million?
Yeah, but we have worked on a mechanism that will be very sustainable for the program.
So how is the
national
percentage
framework
of KIPES
of this for this project was
let
500 million.
Vice Chair, go on record first.
Yeah, we are saying that the auditor is querying that the national framework budget was 500 million, but your budget was 541 million.
Yeah.
Why did you exceed that 41 million?
We seek concurrence with, after the advert, then the then Minister Moses Kuria, we looked into the lowest bidder, and the lowest bidder was the one who had bidded 541 million. So we seek concurrence with the ministry at that time, and they gave us a go-ahead. Because it was implemented by both the county and the national government.
So, Governor, what is
just a follow-up? Sorry,
Okay.
Chair. I'm reading this query, and it's stating that the lowest bidder, that the documents reveal that bidder number 4 submitted a lower bid of 321,328,945.
From the Department of Trade, they indicated to me that the lowest bidder was 541 million.
And that is not the case.
Yep.
Maybe what is the percentage of the KIPES in Kericho at the moment?
Towards completion, we're doing close to 50%.
50% because the matching funds have not come through.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And then you have told senior council that did they at the point in any meeting of council of governors express any reservation, because we have had Governor Orengo, Governor Junior, Mutula Junior. Was there any reservations to this arrangement, or it was just signed through intergovernmental arrangement?
Yeah, from sections there were some few reservations here and there, but all of us are not current the correct view, and of course the theory behind it looks so exciting at that time. But of course the rest, it's now more than a bridge. We just have to
Leader Majority, I know that you never direct any committee and you never tell any committee what to do. But I don't know whether this is something that we could kindly request the Trade Committee of the Senate to move around the country and just do a midterm review of this particular project, because almost every governor who has come before us feels that this was not a well-conceived project. And I don't know, is there any governor who has said it is positive? Probably the Busia governor. But Busia being a border, Busia being a border county, maybe it could make sense to aggregate, because they get products from Uganda. So majority, you see, this is a flagship project which the president was selling almost personally, and then the then minister sold very passionately. But the feedback we are getting indicates that there's a problem. And again, now the 250 million is not coming, despite us approving it in the additional allocations law. So it's something that, fine, CPAC can move around, but the more relevant committee could be Trade.
Yeah, we need Trade to look into it so that to appreciate what are the gaps, what was the conceptualization. I believe by the time they rolled out this project, there's something they had thought about. Unfortunately, it takes a lot more than buildings to put together an aggregation, because once you put the brick and mortar is not the problem. The problem is the product eventually. Once you have the stores ready, what is it that you're aggregating? Because if you haven't worked on the raw material, there's nothing to supply, which is typical. That's why, Chair, we are making a case for privatization. Government is very poor at doing business. And this is just one classic example of so many things that we clog ourselves with. That is money that could otherwise have done something else in the county, as well as in the national government, which now we have put together. And in any case, who had said that there was a problem of aggregation? There are private players, if I think about Kericho, even in terms of horticulture, there are private players who aggregate all these things. From avocado, KTDA does it for our tea, our sugarcane is with the private factories. So you wonder what else can we aggregate? And probably our committee should give a decision. But now, the more difficult question will be, now that public money has already been put into it. Remember, the counties that haven't received their matching grant, I think there are only 18, if I remember the last BPS report.
But they've already put in their money.
Yes, they've already put in their money, they are waiting. But there are counties that have received the 250 from the national government. The other actually 47 minus 18, about 29. But there's nothing actually to do out of it. So we will then have to make a decision. Do we just allow 500 million to go to waste like that? Or do we push or counter match it with another program to now work on the product that will be aggregated, which is something that can be done?
Senator Omogeni, when you become a governor, how will you do this differently?
I've not thought about becoming a governor, chair. So, but
hypothetically,
no. But the reality is, what is disturbing is when you hear a governor saying that what he's doing is not viable, and yet as a government we are again budgeting to add him 250 million, meaning that we are just burying good money for something that may not have any value at all to the people of Kericho. That's the sad part, I think. And you have heard from a senator, he's telling you anything that needed value addition, that has already been achieved in Kericho. So there is a problem here. It's a problem.
Okay, so since it cuts across the counties, maybe when we are doing our reports to the House, we can make some recommendations. Because when we say these things, sometimes you might be considered to be anti-government, but really it is the truth. I don't think this governor is anti-government. Some facts emerged the other day.
I think what we should encourage is proper intergovernmental framework between both levels of government, because they are mutual and distinct. So the issue should be, before county governments or national governments implement any of the functions that has been devolved under fourth schedule, there should be a clear intergovernmental framework, so that if there are reservations or some of, and that is why I was asking the governor whether as COG there were specific reservations against the intergovernmental relations. So I think, Chair, we have to appreciate, and Senior Council will have to appreciate this, that the fact that the national and county will exist as mutual and distinct, there will always be engagement on intergovernmental relations because of the nature of the functions. Even Senator Maruma the other day was proposing that the national government should establish, every county should get a referral hospital, for example. So does it mean we are taking over the devolved function of health? No. We try to be efficient, but we are dealing with the reality. So the issue should be proper and clear legal framework of intergovernmental relationship. I yield back, Chair.
Thank you. Honourable members, we must come to a close. There was just...
I should put that I am government positive. I am Kenya Kwanza positive governor. Thank you.
And also a broad-based governor.
Also broad-based governor, positive and super.
Who's that who said that a tiger does not brag of its tigritude?
Well, I think so.
And someone reported that a Negro does not brag of his negritude. So you don't have to brag about your position in government.
You are implying, Chair.
So there was something about, was it flagship projects?
I think so.
Failure to submit a list of ongoing projects. Auditor General, what
there was initial failure to submit list of ongoing projects. That is question number 10.
So what was the issue? What was your concern?
We we needed a list of ongoing projects since we've realized since devolution, project will go on as long as the government is in place. Once it changes, those projects at times stall. So we wanted that list from inception of devolution so that we can be able to maybe advise on how those projects can be completed.
Even though in the response of the governor, he has actually pointed you to where you could have gotten that list, the ADP. The ADP, because if you looked at the ADP, if you looked at the procurement plans, you'll probably be able to see, and the budgets, you'll be able to see them so that you demand
But in the ADP, you only find what that current government wants, what of the previous governments.
So what, can you clarify to them what you expect? Because this response here does not bring out much. Was it supposed to be a schedule? You know there are some counties like Makueni that have come up with a program management system where you've got programs and projects under them. And the governor of Makueni, I think, has demonstrated to us that he's able to see at what level the pipeline is a project. Would it be something along those lines?
Yes.
It does not have to be that elegant, but again, you can go and see what Makueni has done. They've got a portal where you are able to see all the programs they're running and all the projects. And they've done that from the days of Kivutha.
Chair, we will look into it, but we commit to provide the whole list, including the percentages where there's reached. But just very important, what he has mentioned is very important. But as when he took over government, I reckon that government is a going process. Whether a project was done by the previous government or this government, because it will also be there forever, it has to be completed for people to give value for money. And will people to keep details, if you give us some little time, on all the projects that has been ongoing. In fact, one of them, and I'll mention quick of it because my senator is here, and he has also been on it, is the Roret Pineapple plant, which commenced so long ago, in fact, before devolution began. Already we had procured for the machinery for it, so that we are able to complete on it. The other one was a water project at Kimolagit Water Project, which I came. It was moribund. I reallocated money because what was in the budget wasn't enough, and the contractor requested for variation. Already we have supplied water to households, and we are doing good percentage on it. The other one is Kureshet, the one we were discussing about. Kapkure is the one we're talking about, and the market Sondu, and the other one. So basically, these were projects that were ongoing, but I made a commitment to be able to finish on those projects, even as I work on others, including the one for value addition for the maize and the feeds for farmers and children, and porridge for ECD, which we received the machines on Saturday while we were at Senator's Cup imported, and those are only 2 or 3 projects I have initiated, but the rest is a commitment to finish what has been ongoing since I took over, so that people can get value for their money. But with people, like you said, that this is an accounting table, will be able to provide the figures and not the academic literature
not
attached to it. Yeah. And I promise to reform from that and be able to come with figures next time.
Please do so. We also look at your fiscal space. We have already demonstrated that your fiscal responsibility is far below what is required in the law. So, honorable members, we have to close. We have to adjourn because tomorrow we still have meetings in the morning and plenary in the afternoon. I will open the floor for closing remarks, if any, from the members of the Senate. If I would recommend that we donate our time to the senator, but since he's the leader of the House, Governor, make your closing remarks, and then the senator will make closing remarks on.
Chair, thank you. And once again, like I said at the onset of this meeting, we take the Senate very seriously. And yesterday I was doing some little research on the UK, the House of Lords. And what I stumbled into is that traditionally it's a house preserved for people of high stature and all that is attached to it. And this Senate of Kenya is also of that magnitude, and we really respect it. I say this to apologize for not having appeared at the scheduled time, and we promise that at any time you require us, we will present ourselves to give an account on the resources that has been given unto us. Thank you, Chair, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Leader?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for affording us this opportunity. I appreciate that we have taken time to discuss very important matters to the people of Kericho that I represent here. And many of these people are known to me, and I appreciate. The only reflection that I want you to have, Governor, if you read many of the response, it says, Governor, to take administrative action on this, on the next one, and the next one. I'll remind you, some of the people you serve with here served with your predecessor, and they used to come here, answer questions, and then he left, and they are still here today. Them, they are very comfortable. I don't need to finish the other part of the sentence. The point I'm trying to make to you is this: be firm on your employees and your staff who are making a bad image of the administration that you lead. If somebody is supposed to submit documents, let them submit. If they can't submit, it means they can't do the work that they are employed to do. And they're the people who are causing us not to hit at the level that we are supposed to be doing. Second, or probably the last thing that I want to say is that there's nothing personal that is said here. I believe this is purely professional work. Many of these are people of good reputation, good caliber, but where there is a mistake, we have to point out in public interest and say this is not right, this cannot be accepted, because the spirit of devolution is self-governance and for better self-rule, so that our people can be proud that there is something to show for. I take note of the fact that, Governor, you've given commitments on pending bills, on addressing this wage bill and so many other things, together with the timeline. I'll be more than happy when we next meet before this committee for us to be taking progress and say that day we promised you this and it was done. It will be the great happiness to me. Otherwise, Chair and members, thank you for indulging us. God bless you.
Thank you, Leader. And as I conclude, the Senator from Kericho is our leader in the House. And as we are proud of him, and as he makes very stellar contributions in the House, not just for Kericho, but for all our counties, the county executive of Kericho should also try to be at the same level. So that when Senator Cheriot is ranked amongst the best senators, the governor of Kericho should also be ranked amongst the best governors or the best governments. And I believe that I've seen some of the things you have done jointly, joint oversight meetings. It's something that all of us can learn from. I think, Senator, I must have mentioned that it's something that I admired, that the governor and the senator could convene, bring people together, bring data analysts, fiscal analysts, and just look at some of these things. That is the best form of oversight at a proactive level rather than at a mortician level as we are doing today. So we will continue helping you and your team. Your senator said there's nothing personal. If we bruised your ego, that's just the job that you have to do. That's just the job that we have to do. If you did the right things, then you wouldn't worry about your ego being bruised. In conclusion, I direct the Hansard team to expunge from the records all references to Chrome. The meeting is adjourned.